See this gentleman here? His name is Pariah. Avid Sir Moresty viewers will know that we've covered him before, when he decided to step in our domain and talk about Mario games. Who would have thought the Sonic fan would have enjoyed the Mario games where you get to go really, really fast? We shared our laughs, had our fun, and we've since moved on. But Pariah once again caught my eye when he decided to talk about the Switch 2 prices. And boy howdy did he talk about the Switch 2 prices. So much so I decided to pre-record an intro to let you know that he has since offered a sort of addendum to this video, noting what he got wrong about it and offering up an apology in the end. It seems like he's since privated the videos, a further indication that he wasn't too proud of this moment. And this video will be covering both his initial video and his follow-up. And despite my hot-headed reaction, I do end up taking a liking to him towards the end when he did in fact offer up an apology. So do bear that in mind going in, and without further ado, Pariah, are we gonna run you out of town once again? Or is this gonna be his redemption arc? Take it away.
Man, people are so mad about the pricing of Switch 2.
And I don't mean to be rude to you, brother, but again, I've got about 40 minutes before I gotta go to work, so I will 1.25 times speed, just so we can, you know what I mean, just so, I think your talking speed normally is fine. We're just gonna, you know.
And its games. And look, I get it. I understand being upset about this situation. And I'm not here to go up to bat for a multi-million-dollar corporation.
True, okay, that's good.
But I think...
Oh, no, gamers. Every legendary sentence on planet Earth has always started with a but. It could be good, gamers. It could be bad. But it could be a I'm not racist but moment. Let's find out.
Things have been blown a little bit out of proportion in
the internet will do that. People online.
Some cases. Some amount of outrage, understandable.
Yeah.
But some of what's been going on in regards to the Switch 2 stuff has been, in my opinion, just throwing a temper tantrum. Because yes, the Switch 2 and its games are expensive, and that sucks.
Oh, hang on, actually, chat. Hang on. Oh, I'm gonna make a prediction, chat. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I got a notepad out here, right, chat? If I'm gonna write down the worst argument you could possibly make. Can I spell the word? We're gonna make a bold. I'm gonna close the tab, chat. I'm gonna close my notepad. I've written down the argument. If it turns out he's made it, calamitous. I've written down the worst case scenario. We'll find out, gamers. We'll find out if the prophecy comes true.
And I'm not happy about it either, but I'm not mad at Nintendo. I've seen this kind of thing before. People angry at a game company. How dare they charge that much for that product?
And while there's definitely some baby bitch boys about it, in principle, I do not like the fact that Nintendo is the one setting the precedent for a substantial price jump. Again, in the UK, we're used to like prices going up by £5 every time. You know, like first when I bought video games and the PS2, the Game Boy Advance, games were generally £30. They've gone up to 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and then I think we're at like 50, we're at 60 now, I think, for PS5 games. So we're used to that, but like from 60 to 75 is an insane jump. And secondly, I don't want Nintendo, the company that's been extremely stingy for like the last 10 years or like the last 8 years or so, to be the ones to set that. So I think that most people whinging about this have a very valid reason to be mad. Is Pariah going to acknowledge that? Is he going to counter my argument? Let's find out.
And, like, again, I get it, but at the same time, let's not forget that gaming is a luxury hobby.
Oh, no! Gamers, no! Oh my god, it's the worst thing that could have possibly happened. No! Gamers, the prophecy! The prophecy! The prophecy! No! He did it! 3-1! No! Oh, no! No! I was genuinely rooting for him, chat. I was genuinely rooting for him. Oh, no! Literally the worst argument you could make when it comes to price. Oh, no! No, Brian, no! Not even 2 minutes in! No! Okay, let's see if he saves it, chat. Hang on, just hang on, just give him a chance, I'm coping and seething now. Please, Pariah, save it. Save it.
And ultimately, everything is determined by the market. They're gonna charge whatever they think is appropriate for their product.
Oh my fucking days. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, glut capitalism, glut. This is why people become communists, bro. This shit like this is why I get like anarcho communism in my fucking feed. Honestly, it's unbelievable. Oh, thank you so much, Team Zombie.
Apollo and the Gift of Prophecy.
That's terrible, brother. What a dog shit argument. Again, I kind of, yes, the general market trend has been video games do go up in price. If you're talking to me, someone from the UK, the general trend has been games go up by like £5 each time. That has been the acceptable market trend in the UK for as long as I've been playing video games. Since about the early 2000s, right? That's how long I've been buying video games, or my mom's been buying video games. Again, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Then we went up to 60, 75. You see the issue there? Again, if the Switch 2 games are priced at £65, bit more reasonable. I'd be more okay with that. Because again, we're used to this. We're used to this in the UK. In America, it's a bit different. Like, yeah, games were a bit variable, but for the most part in America, from my understanding, games have been $60. $60 for most of the time frame that a lot of people have been alive. Like the current people around my age, it's been mostly $60. Breath of the Wild kind of pushed the buck on that with 70, and now we're pushing it again to 80. So even if we're going by market trends and the market dictates, in America, the market has been mostly 60, so any budging from that is always going to cause a bit of fizz and a fury. If we're going by the UK, which I'm more familiar with, they've been slowly going up by £5 each time, and now it's 65. 75 instead of 60. So yeah, in both cases, literally, not only are you making a dog shit, oh, capitalism dictates, guys, capitalism dictates. Well, fucking capitalist bootlicker, that's what you are. Firstly, what happened to class solidarity, eh, pariah? And secondly, even if we do go by market forces, no, fuck you. Why are you jumping up £15? There's no way the quality jump could be that high where you're jumping £15. That's insane. That's insane. I haven't played the game yet, of course not. But I still don't think, again, 75, bro. 75! That's insane!
And whether it's worth that much to you or not is your decision. It's a business transaction. People are acting offended. How could Nintendo betray us like this for daring to charge this much for their games?
And again, I think it's more egregious when it comes to Nintendo because they've always positioned themselves as the more affordable option. So with this generation, they're kind of cementing themselves not as no longer the affordable option, but like the forefront of new price changes. A company that, again, was generally affordable, set the price to an egregiously higher degree considering how stingy they've been for the last 8 years, and then like they're the ones to do it. Again, if GTA 6, came out at £75, that's GTA 6. A lot more understandable. A lot more understandable. Rockstar released like a banger like once every like 5 years and goes, bye. Nintendo like set their games at full price and refuse to lower them for like any reason. What are we doing here? What are we doing, man? No.
When in reality, all they're doing is exercising what they believe would be an effective pricing strategy for their product.
And we're totally capable of going, fuck you, Nintendo, you bitch-ass bitches. It can happen. Seed cuts both ways.
And if you don't think it's worth the money they're asking for it, then you don't buy it. And again, yeah. I get it. It really sucks because you want to play all the cool-looking new Nintendo games, but you won't be able to. At the same time,
the dick eating is just actually like insane. The dick eating is unreal, bro. He's not even gluck gluck. It's munch munch, isn't it? Oh no, man.
So there are a lot of things in this world in general that are really cool and you might want to be able to do one day.
There is no way on God's green earth, Pariah. There is actually no way you're about to bring up, but flying costs like hundreds of pounds and people only do, there's no way, gamers. Or like movies, but movies are, the game, that's like the second worst argument you could make. The luxury one is the worst one. But other mediums with that's actually the second worst argument you could make. Pariah, please do not tell me. Go back to Sonic, bro. Unironically, go back to Sonic. I genuinely thought I was a bit too mean in my like review of your Mario ones. I thought like towards the end I definitely was a bit frustrated, but I think my anger now is justified. If anyone says I'm being too mean to Pariah, I think this take is genuinely atrocious. And like, where's the class solidarity as well? I'm not even a fucking. Far be it from me to go with a bit of communist rhetoric, but listen, you hardly catch me fucking opining for the fucking Ivory Elite. You know what I mean? I'm for so much is for the working man. Even when I get rich, I'm still gonna be for the working man. Okay? Fuck you. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, bro. Is this your goat? Is this your goat cast form? Hey! Is this your goat? This your goat?
Is bouncing like it's Mushroom George.
Actually, bruv. Mushroom George. Thank you. Nice. No, the worst argument that people won't spend money on games that give them hundreds of hours in entertainment to spend money on food. I don't know what that means, I'm gonna be honest.
But you can't because they're too expensive. Like, for example, civilian space flights are starting to become a thing.
Oh my... He didn't even make the comparisons to fucking like movies. Like when people do the movie one, like it's shit. But like I understand it. Like video games and movies, they're both art forms in like the same kind of multimedia sort of like the media kind of ilk. What are we doing here, brother?
You could go to space and go into orbit for a brief period if you want to experience that. But most people will not be able to do that because it's way too expensive for the average person to afford.
There's no way you uploaded this video. There's no way, brother. This is an insane... What are we, chat? What are we doing? I mean, like, if there was the boss rush video was like, you know, boring, and Dimitri's video was a bit chicanerous, but all fair. Like, we've ramped up, haven't we? We've ramped up to the maximum chicanery today. Fuck my life, brother. What a terrible argument.
There's all the outrage over that. How dare these space companies charge that much for space flights?
Holy false! I don't think I'm making out of here in 40 minutes. Holy false! You know, far be it for me to consider encourage dogpiling, but I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. I have to, gamers. This is terrible.
Never going to be able to afford to do that.
Terrible take.
And of course, I know it's not exactly the same thing.
It's
but
not.
The principle is the same.
No, there's no. What? Listen. What?
Look, I told you, man, you need to get over her, okay? There's plenty more fish in the sea.
Do I look yellow, man?
Oh, brother. I can't even pull up anymore.
Games are good because checks notes me fly to Mars.
I can't believe this guy said it out loud and was like, this will hit. This will hit the algorithm. This will bang. This will bang. Yeah. This is going to be another Pariah classic. Good. This is going to be another Sir Moresty classic. Which, hey, if you're watching this on Sir Moresty, chat, laugh at the Sir Moresty guys for not being on Sir Moresty, okay? Laugh at them.
There are some things in life that are just too expensive, and because of that, you won't get to experience them.
Wow, it's almost as if video games have historically, especially from Nintendo, been relatively affordable for the average working class Andy to buy. So them kind of pricing out one of their core demographics, families and generally like the everyman, is a genuinely dog shit thing to do. Space flights have never been available to the everyman. They've always been available for the rich and powerful who can afford that sort of thing. It's never been commercially available for everyone to do. So them making it extremely expensive is to be expected. That's the standard the market has set. With Nintendo, video games and Nintendo especially, they've set the precedent that we're going to make them a bit pricey, you know, like $50 ain't anything to, like $50, $60 ain't anything to scoff at, but people can buy them, you know what I mean? Like, it's already getting expensive as is, but people can buy them. It's $80 though, bro. This is crazy. This is crazy.
And here's another thing about this whole thing. People are crying so much about how crazy expensive Switch 2 and its games are. But here's some news for you that you might not be too happy to hear.
I don't like this smug as holy and doubt attitude you have as well. I don't like being talked down to by the video man, personally. Except when I talk down to you, chat, right? Am I right? Am I right, chat? Ah, you're doing good, kids. You're doing good.
Gaming is a cheap hobby compared to many others.
Jesus fucking Christ. Do you know what this is, chat? Do you know what this is? All right, Sir Moresty. Fuck you, Alfonso. Do you know what this is, chat? Oh my lord. Oh my god. Gamers, this has literally never happened prior. You know the worst part about your argument is? It's literally never happened. I have never... I'm not even going to defer to you, chat. I'm going to speak for all of us here. I have never literally looked at a video game and been like, man, that's a bit too pricey for me. But hey, I'm so happy to be part of an industry that's relatively affordable. That's never happened. In the same way that when your mum went up to you and said, you got to finish your dinner, you're like, no, I don't want to finish my dinner. I'm full. Kids in Africa could have eaten that food. That's never been, oh, gee willikers, now all of a sudden I'm empty. You know that feeling of fullness that our biological stomach is like entwined to mean, hey, that's enough food now. All of a sudden that's gone. I can eat this food now. Amazing. Oh, sorry, like the Kenyan village next door that I could easily get my food to. Can't get my leftover pork chops and mashed potatoes. It's never worked out like that. It's a stupid argument when your parents used it as a kid to get you to eat more food. In the same way, there's a stupid argument now. My parents did that unironically. It never is. If any, do you know what you can do? You can chud dunk them. Send them this clip. Mask Kami's parents, you were so wrong for that. It doesn't work that way. When my body says I'm full, I'm full. I don't care about Nakembe and his Kenyan village. Okay, I don't care. I don't care. I know. Let's keep watching.
Oh, but you gotta pay hundreds of dollars for these consoles and dozens for the games themselves. Yeah, that's pretty good when you look at other hobbies. Like, if you want to get into games and you got a tight budget, you can get an Xbox Series S for $300, or maybe a Steam Deck or a Switch, or you can get an older console, whatever, and then you can play free-to-play online multiplayer games as much as you want, and you can pick up games on sale that are a little bit older. You can pick up Skyrim for $10 and play it for 500 hours.
That's not the point. That's not the point people are making. That's not the point. That's not the point people are making. We know this. Chat, do you know what? Water is wet. I know, I clapped. I clapped, gamers, I clapped. I clapped, gamers, I clapped, I clapped. I clapped, gamers, I clapped. Did you clap? I clapped, gamers. I clapped when I said that. We know. We know we can easily go back and buy cheaper games. We know we can buy budget games. It's just a bit of a shame that the generally affordable option has all of a sudden not become the affordable option. Are you going to acknowledge that at any point, Pariah, or are we just going to start punching the air again?
And that's really good value on time for money when you compare it to other hobbies. Like
time for movies. If he says movies, I'm actually gonna fucking blow a lid.
Take, I don't know, hockey, for example.
Oh, okay, he didn't use movies at least. But, oh, hockey, you paid this much dollars for like a 2-hour live experience. Guess what? I don't give a shit about hockey. I don't give a shit about hockey. We're talking about a video game. I do not give a shit. No one in the history of history ever has ever said, oh, man, this hobby's expensive. But, well, I'm so glad compared to other hobbies, it's not that bad. It's never happened. It's all relative to the industry. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. There's no point comparing it. There's just no point. Bad comparison.
Got to get all the hockey gear. That's probably going to run you somewhere between a couple hundred to maybe even upwards of $1,000 if you want to get good gear. And then you got to pay a membership to participate in a league so you can actually play on a regular basis. That's probably like $100 a month, give or take, just to play like once a week or something. Now that's an expensive hobby. Have you ever seen Legos? They have those like really big, fancy, elaborate Lego sets that are like $350.
Yes, but the Lego market has established that that's the price that they're going to pay. That's the price they're going to set. If the Lego community are happy with this price, then the Lego community are happy with this price. If the Lego community are not happy about this price and think it's too expensive, they can sort that out amongst themselves. I don't care. What I care about is video games. And what I'm talking about is that I used to pay £60 for a video game, and Nintendo are going, no, for the Switch 2, we've set the precedent that they could be £75 now. I don't like that. I don't give a shit about Lego or hobby. It's like, imagine, chat, if I sat here and said, oh, but like, a ticket to an Arsenal game costs... All of you guys would be like, I don't care. And rightfully so, you shouldn't care.
The point I'm getting at is that when compared to
X and Y, no correlation. Crazy, huh? Crazy, huh, Zombie? Thank you for the 2, brother.
other hobbies, gaming is relatively cheap, and even with it getting more expensive now, it's still pretty good compared to what else you could be doing with your time.
I don't care about other industries, and I don't care what else I could be doing in my time. I don't care about this Pariah.
Time and money. Honestly, if any...
You could prove to me that this is objectively correct. It does not make me feel better. It does not make the situation any better, and it does not make me feel better. Who cares about this? In the same way that telling a child that is full, who has eaten all their food, or eaten as much food as they can, that children in Africa are starving, does not all of a sudden make them empty again. It doesn't work that way.
Anything, I feel like video games have been undervalued when you compare them to other things. As someone that's also a board gamer on top of being a video gamer, the prices of games are crazy, and the way people talk about them, honestly, they sound like insanely entitled to me.
While I won't disagree that there's definitely a level of entitlement when it comes to prices in video games, especially Americans who are definitely used to $60 being the standard, I think this is a different. I think this example is different. I think this is literally different. In normal situations, I would agree with you. I think when people said like Breath of the Wild is going to be $70, like also when the PS5, Xbox Series generation set the precedent that games are going to go from 60 to 70, and all the fucking US gamers were like, I was like, shut up, nerds. The games have been slowly steadying in the UK for ages, so we're used to this. The fact that you've had it 60 for so long is weird, and it shouldn't have been that way. It shouldn't have been that way. The game should have adjusted for, you know, inflation, et cetera, so that you guys didn't get used to one dumb price point. But like again, I'm just not okay with Nintendo being like, oh hey, we're gonna be the ones to set the prices now.
Because you look at any, like, online multiplayer-only game out there, and people are like, you better make that free-to-play. Don't you even dare thinking of making that full price $60 for a multiplayer-only game with no single-player, no story mode? Get real. That's not worth it. Meanwhile...
Well, yeah, because the market has trended that way. Yes, because the market has trended that way. Free-to-play, like, multiplayer-only games used to cost money, but the market has dictated, I think in a post-Fortnite society, the market has dictated, the whole point of free-to-play now is we're going to make it free. Oh, sorry, the whole point of multiplayer only online games is going to be easier barrier to entry, but hey, you get to pay to look fresh. That's where the market has trended now. Again, when Overwatch originally came out, the market was, no, we're going to multiplayer only games. The precedent is we're going to charge you money for it. We'll add some extra, slight monetization systems after that, but mostly you're going to get all of the content up front. But again, the market has trended to, hey, they're going to be free now. So yeah, when a new free like multiplayer only game comes out, the precedent has been set by the market that it should be free. If they want to charge for it, they can, but that's just
While in the board game space, the majority of games are multiplayer only, and you can't even play them online. You can only do local multiplayer, so you can't even play whenever you want. You gotta organize get-togethers with your friends, limiting how much you can even play this game compared to a video game. And yet, people who play board games think the games are worth those prices and will happily pay them. And board game prices are a lot more flexible than video games.
I don't care about board games. I don't give a shit, Pariah 695. I don't care. I don't fucking care. I do not want Nintendo in my UK gaming market where the prices of, I have watched the prices go up from 30 to 60, and I've been reasonably okay with that. Obviously, you know, I don't want to pay more for more games, obviously, but yeah, prices have gone up. I can expect that. Nintendo making it tripling the normal increase for a price. I don't want Nintendo to do that, and that's the issue. But instead, you're just going to make these faulty comparisons. People online, I don't care.
There's no such thing as full price in the board game space. You have simple card games
I
for
don't
$10,
care.
but they're also
I don't
really
care.
big, elaborate,
I don't
expensive
care.
games with all these miniatures
I
that
don't
go upwards
care.
of $300, and people will buy them. When I look at these two industries, I think that people are getting really bad value for money in board games when you compare it to video games. Something like Elden Ring only being $60 compared to what you would have to pay for that in an equivalent board game experience is insane. And that's a big part of the reason I'm not that upset about Switch 2 pricing, because...
Okay, well, that's something that the video game market kind of needs to figure out. Like, again, in the US, and I would say there's probably been a mistake of the industry. Like, yeah, I would say in the US, again, games have been $60 generally for the standard for way too long, right? And they should have gotten consumers used to the idea of, like, variable pricing, increasing it steadily as, you know, to adjust for inflation. It should have happened. A level-headed conversation? No, it's not going to be level-headed. I'm just mad now, chat. I'm molding. I'm mad and I'm balding, okay? I'm mad and I'm balding, chat. I'm balding as I speak right now. There's steam coming out of my ears. The headphones are blocking it. But, yeah, the market could have done a better job of, like, attuning people to prices going up. But, again, in this case, it's different. Again, when the gamers got mad at this current generation, I said, suck it, nerds. Don't care. With this one, though, it's different, okay? It's different this time. At this point, I accept the reality that prices are high instead. That way, it doesn't mean I like it. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. No class solidarity, eh, Pariah? Yeah?
The most I've ever paid for a game is not $60, or $70, or $80, or even $100. The most I've ever paid for a game is $150 for one brand new game at retail price. Was it worth it? Well, if I compare to how much I could have gotten for that same money in the video game space, hell no. I could have spent $150 on a Steam sale.
Okay, well done. You spent a...
and gotten tons of games that I could have played instead. But I don't feel like I wasted my money on that purchase, because I played that game a number of times with my friends and had a wonderful time with it. And
facts don't care about what game. Firstly, what game was it? And secondly, facts don't care about your feelings. I want the iconic Ben Shapiro line gamers. Facts don't care about your feelings. I don't give a shit. I don't care that you paid $150, okay? The problem is, games have gone from £60 to $75, and it's Nintendo doing it. Why? That's annoying, and I have every right to be mad about that.
I intend to play that game many, many, many more times in the years to come. If we want to talk about being worth the money, I think that video games really sell themselves short, if anything. And I know for someone...
He's literally saying raise the price, chat. I clapped. I clapped when Pariah unironically said raise the price instead of joking. I clapped, gamers. Moresty, when you say video game market, do you mean where profits versus price point settles, or where Gamer Online say it's okay to charge? What I mean as a whole is that, like, again, in the UK, video games have kind of like set the precedent that games are gonna, as the years go on and as we upgrade from console to console to console, prices have gone up to like reflect the newer quality of games, right? So that way, when a price does go, like when it goes up, we're not too shocked about it and we think it's kind of like fair. Is it a shame that we're spending more money? Yeah, I suppose. But like, it's fair. It's a fair price to charge for, you know, adjusting for inflation, maybe the increased cost of the I think it's fair, you know? So, but like in the US, again, it's been 60 for so long, so that charging upwards, or like charging anywhere from like $70, even though you could argue that, relatively speaking, that's not going to like help us with like to pay back the cost or whatever, is like, oh, it's like this big, like, oh, what the hell, you know? So entitlement is an American phenomenon. When it comes to at least that sort of thing, yes. But when it comes to prices in general, I would say, yeah, the hubbub is generally an American phenomenon. When I say in this case, though, and I've said it numerous times and I'll call it one more time, in this case, I do not want Nintendo to be the guys to triple the general price increase of UK video games. That is my argument, and that is the strongest argument you can come with. Again, in the US, it's, I don't want Nintendo being the ones to increase it by $10, again, shortly after we just established 70 in the US. We've gone up to 80 now, and it's Nintendo doing the most stingy motherfuckers on the planet now. I don't want that. And I think people have a right to be mad this time. Usually no, but this time, we're mad and I'm right.
Like me, the situation is different. As a YouTuber, I can make the money back on the Switch 2 and its games by making content out of it. And that absolutely is true, and it does make the...
Can I hear that again, please? Sorry.
Oh, for someone like me, the situation is different. As a YouTuber, I can make the money back on the Switch 2 and its games by making content out of it. And that absolutely is true, and it does make the impact of the price increase a lot softer for me.
So is that why you're maybe having an extremely tone-deaf take? Is that what it is? Like, most people don't have a YouTube channel, dipshit. Maybe I could argue that you don't deserve one after this. No class solidarity, Pariah. You've hit fit. Normally when people have that ego moment of being a YouTuber, they normally hit like a couple of 100K, right? Like, it's like, oh, one ego. Oh, man. It's like, yeah, but I have a gold play button, bitch. You will never get that. I have mansion and car and bitch. Yes, I have things that you don't. Pariah's getting fucking... getting like money pilled at 30K subs, brother. Bourgeoisie at 30K subs, yeah? Crazy work. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's crazy work. Listen, if my like YouTube income is anything to go by, I don't think you're making so much gangbusters that you can like do this sort of shit. You know what I mean? I don't think you're making gangbusters, is what I'm saying. You're probably making a pretty penny. I don't think you're making gangbusters, like, I'll be honest with you.
It's not like it doesn't exist. It's not like I have to get the Switch 2 and cover its games to make money on this channel. I could cover other things instead and probably make an equivalent or maybe even more.
No one cares.
Really, the smart business.
As a pet peeve, chat, again, I'm not just saying this because it's a Pariah, I promise. As a pet peeve, I genuinely do not care when content creators, at least in a, like when it's like the end of video like rambly thing, okay, yeah, sure, you can do that. In a video, I don't care about like your video production. I don't care about your YouTube channel. Just give me the content. Put the content in the bag, little gap. Like, this is one of my pet peeves. I'm like, oh, but the channel's doing very like that. Shut up. Who's we? The only we I want to talk about is when I talk about my beloved Arsenal, okay? Because we are a team. I don't give a shit about you and your financial situation, okay? Put the fries in the bag, okay? That's what I'm saying.
Business decision for me with how my channel is to
not even halfway through the video. I don't even know if we'll be able to finish this chat. I'm gonna run out of time.
Get a Switch 2 and just make more videos about Sonic. That'll do a lot better for me.
You should. So you should go back to Sonic, lad. You should go back to Sonic.
And use the expenses of the Switch 2 to make money for myself. They are still expenses that are going to cut into my profits. And it's not like I
don't care. Oh my! You hearing this guy? Guys, my profits, he took. No one who gives a shit. Imagine, all I'm saying is just imagine if I started talking about like my profits and shit. Imagine, chat. Imagine for a second, gamers. Honestly, imagine it. Like, to me, this is like, to me, like, I'm talking just for me, chat. I'm gonna be real. I'm not talking for any of you guys. I don't know if you guys agree, if I'm being too much. To me, that's like the most egregious thing a content creator can do. I do not care about your financials, brother. I genuinely could not give a shit. Unless it's like a GoFundMe where like you need like desperate heart surgery. Fair enough. talk to me, the fans. I don't give a shit about like my profits, guys. We need to imagine chat. Honestly, like imagine if for a second, right? When I do like a super chat goal or like I do a membership goal, something like that, right? That when I do that, don't get me wrong, it's a nice way to get a little pretty penny, sure. But it's more of a if there's any like. I want to do that to gauge interest from you guys. If you guys want to see something, hey, put your money where your mouth is. That's kind of my like kind of thinking of it, you know, like it like gauges community interest. If you guys are willing to put a couple of dollars on it, then hey, I'll go out my way to do this thing for you. It's like the Demeech bonus stream, for example. I put a super chat go, hey, if you want it, you want it. If not, hey, I'm okay with it. That's kind of how I like to do things. It makes it to me seem like, hey, I'm doing this. I don't care about your, I just don't care. I don't care. This could be Scott the Woz doing this. This could be Donkey doing it. This could be my scrimbly guys doing this. I don't give a shit about your financials, bro. Put the content in the bag, okay? I just don't care. I really don't care. And I think this is stupid to do. To be fair, it's good to be upfront or a different playing field event analysis. Maybe it's brag up, but it's almost academic to admit your bias and interfering background. I don't mind him talking about him being a content creator, but like when he's talking about like profit margins and all this dumb shit, I'm just like, I don't care. I literally just don't care. Why are you talking about this? You know, I just don't care. Like even to a lesser extent, when like Demetrius like, guys, I want to hit the silver play button. Even then, I didn't give him shit for that because I'm like, whatever. But even then, I'm just like, I don't care. If you deserve to hit 100K, you deserve to hit 100K. If you deserve to make a profit of your YouTube channel, you deserve to make a profit of your YouTube channel. I don't give a shit. I don't care about you. It's my pet peeve anyway. Again, I'm just admitting this is a pet peeve. I hate when content creators do this sort of thing. And Pariah is definitely not helping. He's definitely not helping. Definitely give me DSP energy, you know?
Loaded or anything, the cost of Switch 2 are pretty expensive for me as well, but it's something that I understand the situation. The economy's in a really bad place right now. Inflation is going crazy. There's the whole tariff situation happening at the time of making this video.
So do you maybe think this is a bit tone deaf then? Do you think maybe making this sort of video is tone deaf? Maybe. Like, has that clicked in your head at all? Did anybody need the Pariah take? That's what I would ask you, bro. Did anybody really need this opinion of yours? Because, like, while I'll jokingly go, oh no, I don't have it as my background anymore. But when I jokingly put like my Switch 2 pre-order as the background, it was kind of just like as a kind of protest against the order, drop the price Andes. I was kind of like taking the other stance to be like a bit of a heel, you know? I'm not literally flexing my Switch 2 at you people. I'm not like, how gross would that actually be? It was literally just it's like when we say like, raise the price. It's like a kind of, we're just kind of playing the heel for the moment. He's literally doing it, chat. Do we really need your opinion? I'm just saying, did we really need your take?
Monkey wrench into this whole thing. It's not that I'm happy that the Switch 2 costs as much as it does. Personally, my opinion is $450 for the console, I think, is a bit on the pricey side, but not too unreasonable.
I do agree.
I
said similar. I said the same thing.
And $80 for games, I think, is very bold, considering that people are still trying to become comfortable with $70 games, jumping all the way to $80. That's quite a decision, and personally, I don't know about you, I've yet to buy a $70 game. Not that I don't necessarily think it's worth it for a $70 game, it's just I haven't needed to because I'm patient and I'm okay with waiting on things to go on sale eventually. But we all know how Nintendo is with sales, so that's not really an option.
Exactly, and that's what, hang on, gamers! He might, hang on. He might touch upon it. That's the big, hang on, is this a SpongeBob moment where SpongeBob, like, tries to be anything but a fry cook? And then people go, that's what we've been waiting for! Yes, they're in like, he's getting the games, he's getting there, chat, he's getting there, let's see if he cooks, he's getting there.
So yeah, it's pricey and it hurts, but I don't think it's such a dramatic price increase that it makes it impossible to play Switch 2 and get Switch 2 games. You know, if you're a certified...
Spoken like a true, oh yes. Guys, guys, I'm just saying that I don't think dabs his like cheeks with like a $10 bill. Guys, I don't think it's that expensive to eat, say, golden crusted chicken wing. Guys, I'm just saying. I just don't think. Oh, could you please fan me a bit further, please? Thank you. I just don't think it's another servant airdropping him grapes. Oh, thank you so much, Stefan. Thank you so much. Please massage my feet some more, guys. I'm just saying. I don't think it's that expensive. That's how you sound. That's literally how you sound. Brother, this is terrible. Delete the video, lad. Delete the video. My fucking god, lad. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable, chat. It's unreal. No class solidarity to be had here on the Pariah channel.
Gamer, you probably buy quite a number of games over the course of the year. And if we say that the average gamer buys maybe 4 brand new games a year, and I don't know if that's...
Whoa. 4 games a year? You? Like, full price? You're insane. No. What? That's low. That's you being charitable. He's literally never been poor. He's actually never been poor in his life. That just confirmed the gamers. When I say every time, we're not joking anymore. Four what? 60 quid games a year? You're insane, lad. You're actually insane. Put him in a cage. And that's the average? Like, now, if I'm letting my biases aside, right? I'm someone who has, like, thankfully because of you guys, I do have a bit more disposable income to spend on video games, right? So maybe at most I could, like, get this, like, 4 game a year bracket. But for most of my life, I would say for at least, like, 27 out of the 30 years of my life, it's been, like, 1, 2 at most, brother. It's been 1, 2 at most. And, like, I would consider myself the average gamer, you know what I mean? Like, I used to rent games from Blockbuster because, like, I just couldn't afford the money. So I don't know about you guys. I don't know what your game situation's been like. But it was literally 1 for my birthday and 1 on Eid, all right? Even though there was 2 Eids, I could never get 2 games. But, like, it was literally, like, 2. And even then, like, a lot of the time, I'd have to wait for games to go on sale. Because, like I got Sonic Rush on my thing when it was, like, £15 at fucking, like, HMV. Do you know what I mean? Like, my mom was not buying that for £35 at the time. No fucking chance, lad. You know? Like, it's just not... Unless the game is, like, heavily discounted. If it's at full price, literally 1 game a year when I was growing up for the longest time. As a teenager, it was still 1 game a year. Literally, I would spend my 1 game a year on Call of Duty in my Call of Duty phase. Like, my mom would tell me, literally, you can only buy this is the only game you're buying. And I said, I was like, okay. Even when I first got my job, like, literally, like, I could only afford, like, maybe 1 or 2 full. I'd wait for a lot of stuff to go on discount. I was, like, the last amongst my friend group to buy a PS4 because, like, it was just too expensive for me at the time. Admittedly, I got the PS5, like, relatively early, but that's because, like, I literally put my PS5 on a payment plan, bro. I put it on a 12-month payment plan, chat. I couldn't afford my PS5. I could bet, like, even then, like, right now, I literally made the joke in my typical Nintendo video. Like, if I buy 2 games on the Switch 2 and they're £75, I'm gonna have to put that on credit. I can't just spend $150 in one go. Or £150, sorry. I can't spend that. That's insane, man. Even then, you can still be rich and still acknowledge the completely ridiculous. I don't think he can, because he's, like, so fucking, like, rich pilled. 4 full-price games a year, bro? I don't know what my Switch 2 thanks to the Argos squad. Yeah, exactly. Like, literally, the only reason I was able to afford my Switch 2 pre-order just full right off the rip, and check and verify, I barely, like, live streamed or even posted videos for the entire month of March because I was, like, working myself to the fucking bone. So I literally had the spare income, and because of the YouTube income, so thank you so much for that, I was able to buy it. You know what I mean? It's literally the only reason why. It's literally the only reason why. Oh, man, he's really played his hand with that card, chat. He really has. Oh, this is poor.
Actually, on average. I'm just pulling that number out of my ass because it feels kind of reasonable between people that buy lots of games and people that don't buy that many. I don't know.
Number out of your ass? I don't know, you pull this video out of your ass, brother. That's what I'll tell you.
4 feels kind of right to me. If we say that someone was going to buy 4 brand new $60 games a year, but now they're all $80, that means you can only get 3 brand new games a year. Which I don't think is that bad.
Faulty premise. Faulty premise equals to a faulty point. This is just tone deaf. This is just genuinely tone deaf. What an oh, man. He just genuinely doesn't know, chat. He's never been broke. I don't believe that you've ever been broke, Pariah. I don't believe it, man. Like, as a kid, like, my family was broke, bro. Like, we had to buy consoles, like, 3 years after they came out because we could never buy shit on launch. And even though now that I'm an adult who can probably afford to buy video games at launch, like, they're still really pricey for me? Man.
Really? But again, value is up to the individual person. I know some people out there really care a lot about the dollars for hours ratio they get out of a game. Personally, that
hang on.
Doesn't matter too much to me.
Why do you think that matters to people? Why do you think that Oh my... Why do you think that matters to people, Pariah?
So tone deaf, he can rhyme orange with banana.
Banana, yeah, thank you so much, Zombie. But, like, why do you think that matters to people? Because when they can only afford their, if I'm going by chat consensus and my own life, like, what, 1, 2 at most new games a year? You want it to be the game with the most content possible. That's why people get up in arms about cost to, like, value ratio. Now, again, thankfully, I'm in a point in my life now while I'm not rich, I can afford to buy, like, you know, a £20 game that's like 2 hours long because, like, I just wanted the experience. You know what I mean? I'm in a better financial spot than I was, like, growing up, of course. But Even then, I'm still not like making gangbusters or anything. But evidently he is, eh? Evidently. Because they want to purchase to be validated. There's only so many games to get. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's why free-to-play is like hit its stride so much. Why do you think so many kids are playing Fortnite now? Not because like Fortnite is that good, but because it's affordable. You know?
Matters is getting a quality, worthwhile experience out of the game. And that's another thing that I was thinking about that kind of makes the pricing more acceptable. And this is kind of something where I am sort of going up to bat for Nintendo here, but you pay.
Oh fuck, my bad. Oh shit. Oh gamers, we fucked it. Hang on.
Kind of makes the pricing more acceptable, and this is kind of something where I am sort of going up to bat for Nintendo here.
Spoken like a true coastal elite. I clapped, gamers. I clapped when he. Hey, what's it? Gamers, can we give him a You know, like in gymnastics, like on the Olympics, when they give like a score on like a board. Like, guys, what score would you give for like his gymnastical performance? Right? He flipped, did a pirouette, and landed right on it. He did backflips. So I give this a straight 9.7, chat. I was a 9.7 gymnastical performance, honestly. Fantastic stuff, Pariah.
But I still think that it's relatively reasonable. If we're talking about the value of a game, what a game is worth, when you compare games to each other, there is definitely a discrepancy. You know, this idea of the full-price game has been around in video games for so long, yet within the world of full-price video games, there are definitely games that provide more value than others, either through their amount of content or the quality of the game itself.
And this would be an interesting conversation to have if the video wasn't framed under the guise of, you're broke and I'm rich. You're broke. You're broke. Because, yeah, I think that is genuinely interesting conversation. And I think that's probably one of the things that, at least when Doug Bowles says variable pricing, it would be nice if, like, video games could just be more than just $60 or, like, more than just, like, £60 in this case, right? Or 75 as we're going up to. Like, if the games could adjust themselves, if, like, AAA games could adjust themselves accordingly to how much they think the value is worth. There could be an interesting, what makes value? Is it length? Is it experience? Like, experience is very subjective. Like, there's so many interesting avenues you could take this conversation. That firstly, I just don't think you're going to do because you're a rambly-ass bitch, firstly. And secondly, I just think you're doing backflips on it, brother, man. Backflips.
Like, for example, if I take two random games off the top of my head from two different eras of gaming, I could take Dead Space and compare that to The Order 1886, both full-price AAA games when they came out. And The Order 1886 is significantly shorter than Dead Space and significantly worse, with much shallower gameplay and a really generic, terrible story.
And that's why, at the time, people shit on it. Right, Pariah?
Whereas Dead Space, I think, is a great AAA game. It's a really good showcase of what you can do with a AAA budget. You make a really cool, fun, polished game with lots of content. I think Dead Space is fantastic. And I would absolutely say that it's worth more than The Order 1886. Yet they were both priced the same because full price is a thing in video games.
Yeah, and I agree. It should be a bit more variable, right? It definitely should be more variable. Like, most people will not look at the Order 1886 and go, oh yeah, like this is worth $60. It would be nice if, again, we had a more variable price ranges. I don't know if this is a conversation you want to have in the middle of your Switch 2 price round. I don't think so.
But instead, if video games were priced on their perceived value that they offer as an experience, then full price wouldn't really be a thing. Every game would be priced differently based on what it has to offer. Kind of like what you see in the indie game space, but it would be the same for bigger games. And
yeah, that would be nice, but again, not an argument necessarily want to make. Art commissions are what pays for my games now. Thankfully, I got enough clients. Hey, what the hell? Where's my art, huh? What the hell, Moresty? What the hell? I pay good exposure. My exposure is better than most, okay? I will say I clapped and then clap on my soundboard. Come on, that's peak exposure, Moon guys. Come on, draw me like a stick man. Draw me like Stickman Moresty. Come on.
If I'm being honest,
I'll pay you good exposure, I promise.
Genuinely think
very
that
cheap.
Average, Nintendo games are of a much higher quality than a lot of the other AAA games out there, and I do think that they are generally better experiences that are worth more. Especially nowadays, when there's so much dreck coming out of the AAA games industry, there's a reason I don't buy that many AAA games anymore, but I do still buy Nintendo games because they are clearly a cut above the rest.
Again, value's a bit subjective. Even if I was to agree with them that, yeah, Nintendo games generally have more value to them, that's still not the core of the argument we're making, Pariah.
And so them charging more than the rest, I don't think is necessarily unreasonable considering...
Have you considered games? He's not going to talk about the main problem, is it? Guys, say the line, chat. It's the fact that Nintendo, for the last 10 years, have established their stingy, greedy fucks are raising the price and setting this precedent.
During the increased offer that you get from that Nintendo quality. Now, maybe it is more so that other games should charge less for their value as opposed to Nintendo charging more, but I'm just saying, on a relative scale, I would say that Nintendo games are worth more than most. And if I think about it, maybe
The backflips are crazy, brother.
leaning into that as part of their strategy for Switch 2 is a pretty smart idea, because Nintendo has been known for a long time as the more affordable option when it comes to gaming.
Oh, hang on. He's touching upon it, gamers. Hang on. Neurons have been reactivated. Yes, this is another reason as to why people are pissed about the higher price. Are you going to acknowledge this, Pariah? Hang on. Gamers, we might be back. Hang on.
And that was a big part of the reason that the Switch was such a big success, because it was only $300.
Yeah,
But another big part of the
hang
Switch's
on.
success is that it had no competition. It was the only handheld console hybrid out there, and it was a really good product, so everybody wanted it.
Yes, but again, Nintendo's been generally an affordable company for most of its reign. Therefore, come on, we got this, come
But
on.
that is no longer the case. The Switch now does have competition in the form of the Steam Deck and other similar handheld
Come on,
PCs.
that's not what we're
And I know
getting
that
at. Come
those
on,
things
come on.
don't sell nearly as much as the Switch does, but think about it this way. If we're talking about the most affordable way to play games with a handheld console hybrid, the Switch is not it. Not even the Switch 2, the Switch 1. The most affordable way to do that now is with a Steam Deck. It's $100 more than a Switch, but the value you get from Steam and all the sales and that huge library, including PlayStation and Xbox games, there is no way Nintendo can compete with that, and maybe for Switch 2 they realize that, so perhaps they're trying to pivot their strategy away from being the affordable gaming option and more in a direction of being the premium experience, you know?
Yeah, and do you not think people would... This is raise the price, but ironically, but do you still not think people would be pissed at that? You still not think people would be pissed at that at all? Because I can understand people being pissed at that.
You pay a little bit more for Nintendo, but you get the best. Perhaps that is what they're thinking. And
Okay.
I don't
Thank you for theory crafting for Nintendo, but like, come on.
necessarily think that's a bad strategy, especially considering that
Okay, thanks, capitalist. I don't care. I don't care. Thanks, board of directors, Pariah695. Thanks, COO, Pariah69. I don't care. This is a company that's been generally affordable. That's trending in a way not to.
Switch 2 also needs to compete against the Switch, because there's a lot of people out there that already have Switches. What's their motivation to move on to Switch 2? If they got into it because it was affordable, then they don't want to buy another console. What do they need that for? Just to continue to play the new games because they're going to stop releasing them on Switch? Sure, some people are going to do that, but the insanely huge casual market that the Switch brought in is not all going to be interested in doing that. The people that are interested in Nintendo and want an affordable way to play games on the go already have it. Trying to serve that market the same thing again when they already have the solution to their problem, I don't think it would work. I was doubting the Switch 2 was going to sell as well as the first Switch, even before the prices were announced.
I don't think he's going to mention the point as he charged. Don't care. Thank you. Is this like a Pariah video or like a pitch meeting? Am I in an investors meeting, chat? Like, is this a leaked video?
Just because of that. So if there is a degree of strategy change here where they are going for that premium experience, I kind of think it's a smart move. Well, that's enough shilling for Nintendo. I swear I'm not...
Oh, shill! Oh, he's self-aware, chat! He's self-aware! He's a shill! Fucking shillocalypse over here, brother. What the fuck, man?
on their payroll or anything. I'm just trying to look
You fucking are
at this from every angle. And one other angle...
You haven't even covered it from the most important angle of all. That's the issue we have here. Again, chat, say it one more time with me, chat. In the UK, again, in the US, it's slightly different, but more of the same. I have been used to, as a gamer, like with the prices slowly, steady increasing every year, with the assumption that the price increase is to accommodate for like the development costs and blah, blah, blah. But after a set amount of time, sales will happen and most people will be able to afford them. That's the only reason I was able to get into gaming as a kid. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be able to. Nintendo is bucking this trend.
No entry sign emoji. He is on something.
He's like,
white tick mark emoji.
Crack or cocaine, what is it? But again, now Nintendo is pricing out their market that they've appealed to for so long. It's different this time. I'm with you. When Americans I'm so angry I can't even talk. When Americans raged about the $70 TOTK, I was like, get bent, Americans. What are you talking about? Game should have been steadily increasing anyway. Who gives a shit? But again, it's Nintendo now setting the precedent. We're doing another price jump this soon. And for a company that doesn't want to go on sale anymore. It's shit. This is shit for the average consumer. My fucking lord, lad. So how many games a year do you think his parents buy? Even it's so bad. Even Designing 4 has stopped lurking in the shadows and come forward just to dunk on you as well. Dunks, fucking alley-ooped him, my fella. You alley-ooped him. Good lord, like, okay, is he gonna last 5 minutes, chat? And I got to run after this as well. I got to run. Is he gonna come at it from a consumer? I don't think I've ever been this pissed at a video before. Like, actually, this is insane gluckery. And I hope after all of this, he actually covers like the angle that I'm most interested in, gives a decent something. Do you know what I mean? Come on, Pariah, you got 5 minutes. Otherwise, this video is genuinely stinking. You should take it down. Honestly, embarrassing, genuinely embarrassing showing.
To look at is the economic situation that we are currently in.
Okay. Finally, gamers, class. Yes, my brother, my comrade. He's back, gamers. He's back. Come on, Pariah. Finally.
Everything is getting more expensive right now.
Yes.
It's inflation. If Nintendo was alone themselves making their games more expensive, then I think you'd have an argument for it being unreasonable. But it's just how things are going right now. Stuff gets more expensive over time. Did you expect games to be $60 for the next 100 years?
No one is sick. Do we say it again, chat? I'm not going to say it again, but copy-paste what I just said earlier. Copy-paste again, gamers.
Never gonna happen. They were eventually gonna get more expensive.
We know. That's not what we're saying.
It's just the way of things. And I've seen some people saying this is way more than inflation. They're going well beyond that. They're getting greedy. They're seeing how much they can get away with.
Yes! Okay, hang on. Gamers, we might be there. Pariah, it took us 60 minutes. We might be there. Hang on, chat. Hang on. Hold.
Advantage of this situation.
Yes.
And of course, that absolutely could be a possibility here.
It is.
I took it upon myself to look into it a little bit.
Okay.
And upon doing whole minutes of research, I was able to find how much inflation has affected the price of Switch 2 games. I used some inflation calculators to see how much the price of Switch 2 games has increased compared to the launch of Switch 1 in 2017.
He's going to use the... Oh, for fuck's sake. Chat, I'm actually going insane. I'm genuinely going insane, chat. He's going to say, do you know what he's going to say? Oh, Switch 1 price was $60 in 2017. If adjusted for inflation, in 2025, a game should be $90. So, hey, them charging $80 is actually a good deal. Don't, Pariah, please. Please, Mr. Silver Spoon in his mouth. Please don't tell me you're actually going to do that.
And I used multiple different calculators and compared them to make sure that they were all giving me the same values, so there was no, like, funky bad estimation.
Yes, gamers. A Game Boy Advance SP that I bought in, like, 2003 cost £90. In the modern day, that's going to be way more expensive. But you would not buy a Game Boy Advance SP for, like, what's it, like, £270 or adjusted for inflation or whatever it is. It's different because the era we're in now is different. You got to take into account the... I can't. And
they all gave me the same values. If you are upset about Switch 2 games costing $80 in 2025, then you also should have been upset about Switch games costing $60 in 2017 because the equivalent of $60.
Hang on, I want to hear this whole point. Hang on, give me a second.
Been upset about Switch 2 games costing $80 in 2025. Then you also should have been upset about Switch games costing $60 in 2017 because the equivalent of $60 in 2017 money is $78 in today's money, which means that Switch 2 games are priced at almost the exact same amount relative to inflation. In fact, the price of the Switch 2 itself, if you compare that to the price of the Switch in 2017 money relative to now, the Switch was about $390 in today's money, meaning the Switch 2 isn't that much more expensive than the Switch 1 for being a much better piece of hardware.
Okay, thank you so much, Pariah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pariah. Thank you so much for Googling a inflation calculator. Now, can you do me a favor and track the average wages? Oh, no, you can't. Hang on. Could you track the average wages in that same time frame? Have they gone up to match the price of inflation? No, because you've never worked a hard day's work in your fucking life. I'm going crazy. Anyway, let's replay the Dono time. Dono, thank you so much. Thank you.
Do you guys think he'd be the next Chad Warden if it was the Nintendo PS3?
He would be fucking with me, man. Oh, man. I can't believe this. I actually cannot believe this. I can't believe this, gamers. I actually can't believe this. This is the worst video ever made.
And if we want to take this even further, the idea of the $60 game being full price kind of started around the Xbox 360 release in 2005. And $60 in 2005 money equates to just under $100 in today's money, so games used to be way more expensive back then, and people were not bitching about the prices nearly as much.
It's almost as if prices go up, but wages have stayed down, or like haven't increased accordingly. Oh my gamers, have I hit a massive revelation? Or is this just something that every working class motherfucker already figured out? Insanity. Insanity, gamers. Is this Hang on. Gamers. Am I hitting in a crazy thing? Why is no one talking about this, chat? Why is no one talking about the fact that inflation is going up, but the prices are staying at the... Why is no one talking about this except me? Why am I the first person on planet Earth? My dumb bitch ass British guy from streaming at his bedroom. Why am I the first person to figure this out? Am I the first person out of the 8 billion on planet Earth to figure out that line is going up, but my money is going like this? Am I the first person, chat? Am I the first person? There's no... gamers, I am the first person to ever figure this out. So, you know what? I forgive Pariah. I forgive Pariah for not realizing this, because I'm the first person to figure out that while the prices have gone up, average wages have stayed the same, or not increased accordingly, should I say? Crazy work, brother. Crazy. I'm the first person ever to figure this out. It doesn't help that essentials like housing, food have also gone up in price. There's less disposable income. Wait, hang on. Are we both the first people to figure this out? Hang on. My rent keeps going up, but my boss doesn't want to give me a raise. How is this going to impact my ability to buy video games? I don't know, gamers. I'm lost. My brain is exploding. I can't figure this out. I'm overloading with too much information, gamers. I'm learning new facts. Gamers, I think we should start a new symbol for our working class. Fist in the air, gamers. That should be our symbol for the working class. I've never seen this done before, gamers. Maybe a hammer and a sickle even? No, that seems a bit too much. That seems a bit much. Hang on, let's oh fuck, where was I? Hang on, I gotta refresh the thing.
Dollar game being...
Mostly I'm lost, please explain. I can't... listen, I'm the first person to figure this out, so I can't know. Like, I'm sorry, Imagine. I can't explain to you. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Full price kind of started around the Xbox 360 release in 2005, and 6 games used to be way more expensive back then, and people were not bitching about the prices nearly as much. Now, granted, that's not the full story, because while inflation might say that it's the same amount of money, wages say something else.
Oh, okay, class solidarity. Yes, gamers. I clapped. Yes, Pariah. What are you going to say to that, huh? What is he... How could he fuck this up, chat? How is he going to fuck this up? Hang on. Is he a brother all along, gamers? Hang on.
Money's not worth as much, yet pay hasn't really increased for a lot of people to get you to the same level, which is how you get financial hardship for a lot of people. But to be honest, that's kind of also part of the reason I'm not that worried about Switch 2 game prices. The economy is just in a really bad state right now, and it was inevitably going to be like that after the pandemic really caused a major problem to things. And especially right now at the time of making this video, considering all the stuff going on, depending on how that plays out, we're gonna have a lot more to worry about than video games being a bit more expensive, to be honest, and I'm much more concerned about that. The increasing price of games and consoles and all of that is a byproduct of a much larger problem, and that's really the thing to be upset about, in my opinion.
So, guys, if you're complaining about the Switch 2 prices being high, you need to complain about the fact that you can't find eggs in Walmart anymore. You can't, no, hang on, you can't, guys, hang on, no, hang on, whoa, hang on, I know what you're gonna say, but Moresty, can't we complain about two things at the same time? No. We need one issue at a time, okay? I can't reply to multiple chatters at once. I can only reply to one of you guys. I'm gonna pick one of you guys, and I can only reply to one of you. We cannot, no, one issue only, okay? So now we're talking about the issue with the inflation, gamers. Okay, so now we're going to talk about this only, nothing else. Africa is poor, so we cannot complain, gamers. I hate I hate you specifically, Lucius. You specifically. You're the worst guy I ever made.
So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Switch 2 pricing. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. I'm not here to tell you that it doesn't suck, that it's not really unfortunate, that I'm not upset about it. All those things are completely true and completely valid. But when it comes to problems like this, I am of the opinion that you either try to do something productive to address the situation, or you shut up because you're not helping. Spamming a Nintendo stream with lower the price for days is not going to accomplish anything.
Okay, while them spamming in a live stream is definitely cringe and performative, how else, like in principle, other than us yelling at them, are we going to get things to change? Like, obviously we can, vote with your wallet, true, but public outcry is also a very valid method of getting people to change their stance on things. Like, yeah, obviously money talks, obviously, but that's the reason protest exists. Like, don't get me wrong, like online equivalents are, yeah, maybe it's a bit cringe. Maybe. I get it. But people outcrying about stuff, like there's a reason why, chat, I never get angry at people for, like, in principle, for getting mad about something. It's if the conversation is steered in a way that has become the opposite of what we need to talk about. So people in principle getting angry about the prices, I'm all for it. The avenue of that they should attack is different. I don't think you should go in a Nintendo Treehouse stream and spam drop the price. You're just wasting your time. But you should be able to tweet at Nintendo. You should be able to, like, kick up as much fuss, get YouTubers to make videos about it. Like, you should kick up as much of a stink as possible. Vote with your wallet, obviously, is the most predominant form you can do this, of course. But I don't think kicking, like, he's just like, we should just all shut up. No, of course not. Why would we do that? We should kick up as much of a fuss as possible. Why not? It's unbelievable. I agree. I get what you're saying. I agree to an extent. We should suggest an alternative. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, we should all shut up and what? Like, what? No. Of course, we're gonna kick up a fuss about it. We're annoyed. We're annoyed. You know. I feel like people have been shaming protesters recently by calling it pointless, even though it's the one thing we can do. Literally, protest is like one of the oldest forms of, like, trying to get shit to change. And while it might not work all of the time, in principle, it's a thing that we should all be capable of doing. Again, you seem like, oh, it sucks. So much for class solidarity, Pariah? So much for that.
It might have been worse than they anticipated, but I'll guarantee you that Nintendo saw backlash coming, and they probably accounted for that when they tried to calculate whether or not these high prices would be worth it, and evidently, they did think it would be worth it. If you actually want to do something about the Switch 2 pricing situation, my recommendation would be to not buy one. Now, boycotts in the video game industry 100% of the time do not work, but it's not necessarily a boycott. If the product just doesn't sell well, then
yeah, but like, in principle, I'm not against people boycotting, though. Like, if people want to boycott something, they can boycott something, you know? Like, what are we doing here, lads? Why are you discouraging people from like protesting or boycotting? Like, what is the point? Oh, it doesn't work, so you shouldn't do it. What class traitor games? He's a class traitor. In fact, class traitor implies that he was one of us in the first place. He was never one of us, chat. They not like us. They not like us, gamers. They not like us. Pariah's not one of you. If anything, Pariah's made this clear right now. He's not one of you, gamers. He's not a gamer. He's a coastal elite sitting on top of his ivory tower, talking down to us peasant masses about how we should be having normal conversations. That's what it's going to be. That's what he is, gamers. He's a squillion pretending to be a Squidward, chat. Never forget that, okay?
Going to lose money, and they will get desperate, and they might consider lowering the price. That's what happened with the 3DS. I don't think that's going to happen with the Switch 2. I think it's probably still going to sell pretty well, and Nintendo's not going to lower it. But it's something that might make an impact if enough people don't do it. And I'll tell you right now, I'm planning to buy a Switch 2. I'm telling you not to buy one, but I'm going to do it, so I'm part of the problem here. But personally, I wouldn't say...
Yeah, of course you are.
I'm being a hypocrite, because all I'm really telling you to do is buy the product if you think it's worth it, and don't buy it if you don't. For me, personally, I think getting a Switch 2 is worth it, considering the whole YouTube thing. But if it's not worth it for you, then don't buy it.
Oh, are you sure it's not going to cut into your profits, Pride? Do you want to talk about that for like another 7 hours? Do you want to do that? You want to talk about it for another 7 hours? I mean, how's the graphs going? How is life post-Sonic? Has that really been treating you nicely? I don't know, again. I think we should vote with our time channel. I don't think we should watch another Pariah video, honestly. I will cover his, like, his follow-up to this, but I don't think I ever want to watch another Pariah video again, honestly.
Hope that there are more people like you than there are people that can afford a Switch 2. That's about it. And then we just see what happens from there. Of course, I'm no finance...
I know I literally said in the Discord there is no blacklist. But, like, there is a blacklist, chat. There is a I am christening the blacklist. And Pariah695 is on the blacklist, chat. I'm actually the blacklist has started. I'm voting with my time. After we cover his follow-up, I never want to see another Pariah video again, because he's shown to be extremely tone-deaf and not someone whose opinion is absolutely worth listening to in the slightest. There is a case for, like, sometimes someone has a bad take on one thing, and, like, it kind of it doesn't necessarily mean they have bad takes in general. But like, I think Pariah is someone who has had such a boneheaded take in this instance. I don't think I ever want to like feature this man ever again, like ever again in my life. I think this man has had a disgustingly terrible take, and I think the backlash, if anything, the backlash hasn't been enough. Honestly, I think the fact that he has more likes than dislikes is genuinely shocking to me. Genuinely shocking. I'm surprised there's 642 people who watched this video and went, "Oh yeah, this is definitely worth a like." Honestly, I don't think this is. I think this is probably one of the worst videos I've ever watched in my life, and you should be ashamed of yourself, Pariah. And if your next video doesn't start off with an apology, I would seriously consider subscribing to him. This is terrible. What terrible video, honestly. Because like, while I'll make it clear that like, I have bought a Switch 2, yes, but in principle, I can understand why everyone's annoyed. I am annoyed by it too, and I can understand why people are annoyed. And if people want to protest that, if people want to vote with their wallet, I will always encourage that. I would never encourage this fucking dick suckery that he did for like 15 minutes. The unabashed gluck that he was giving Nintendo for the last 15 minutes was unreal and embarrassing. You should be ashamed of yourself for that, really.
Expert or anything. I could just be talking out my ass here, but this is just my
You absolutely have
thoughts on the situation. And if you have thoughts of your own, please do leave them in the comments. I like to see what people have to say, but I just ask that you keep things civil.
I don't think I want to. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I want to keep it civil. If I said what I wanted to say, I'd change my name to Slur Moresty. Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way, Pariah. But hey, neither of us want to get banned from this platform, so I'll leave the Call of Duty lingo at the door. Let's have a look at the comments, shall we? As always, chat, if you are going to leave a comment, in fact, be civil. You could be a bit mean to him in my chat, obviously. I wouldn't say I encourage it, but obviously, a little bit of meanness in my chat is fine. If you are going to leave him a comment, though, guys, be constructive, okay? Explain to him what idiot he's being with your fine words, okay? Hopefully, all the comments, I hope so. I feel like people have a right to be loud about how much they dislike prices. Sure, I won't solve with him, but I think it's important to leave up. Yeah, rockin' sockums. I clapped, gamers. I clapped. Oh, no, I'm still clapping. You guys should be clapping right now. I joke when I say I clapped. How is the top comment understanding this? How is Rockin' Sockum understanding this, but you don't, Pariah? And you speak for like an audience for presuming a living, or at least a short part-time living. People go multitask. We choose not to buy a product and yell at Nintendo how stupid this is. Unironically, amazing gambit. Thank you so much. It's so stupid when people say stuff like "don't just buy it." Like you're screaming, like if you're screaming about online jobs, they're not going out to buy it either. Yes, thank you. Claps for Rockin' Sock'em. He deserves it. The working class hero we all need. Good lord, man. I genuinely hope that if I do end up becoming a lot more financially stable in life, I will not be half as out of touch as Pariah. Jesus Christ, man. Good lord. In fact, I don't even want to be rich anymore, chat. I don't want to be rich. If it means I get to be this out of touch, I'm okay, man. I just want enough money to get me by, and I'll call it a day, man. Fucking hell. Pariah assumes that I'm not equally offended at Big Space Inc. and their gatekeeping of my astronomical or nautical dreams. You know what, fuck Gonzo, you're so right for that. You know, I'll give obviously I have to do my part too. Saying gaming is a luxury doesn't excuse objectively shitty behavior. Toasty man, I clapped, gamers. I clapped when Toasty man said that. A class soldier through and through. People don't bitch about this stuff because they believe it's entitled, but because it's having self-respect as a consumer. Nintendo are pushing their luck this hard because they're successes with the Switch. They're convinced them they can get away with it. It's sort of similar to the reveal of the PS3 or the Xbox One, but in slightly different ways. Holding companies accountable for trying to screw you over is a key to making the industry better for any customer. No one is saying that anything about being deprived of what they believe they deserve. It's about the fact that Nintendo can set a bad example for the rest of the industry to follow. It's especially out of touch from Nintendo to price in the console this high when A, the last console was a budget-friendly option for those not too concerned about power, and B, the economy is shitter right now. Nintendo seriously do not have an actual excuse for charging $80 for yet another Mario Kart game. And it may not be about finances to people like you and I who drop loads of money into this hobby, but more the principle, thank you, of the fact that they could possibly get away with overpricing their entire brand from this point onwards, as well as what the consumer believes is worth the money. Trying to tell people they're overreacting about how a company feels, company being this greedy to the point where they're gonna put an entire button on the controller as a paywall is gonna come off. It's out of touch. Thank you so much, Zacharuigi. Thank you so much. Yeah, especially because like, what's it in NY? Like, yeah, minimum wage is $18, but like, what's it like? A cardboard box is gonna set you back like $1,000 at least minimum. You know what I mean? At least. And then what? If you want like a premium iron shipping container, that's gonna be like at least 1,500. You know what I mean? 1,500 a month. Dare to have a roof over your head. You know what I mean? Then you have even more money. It's like 2K at least for a roof over your head. If you want to get it still, more power to you. But don't pretend like the internet uproar is just one big manic episode from Crybaby, because it's not. Yes. The outrage is 100% justified when Nintendo is transparently fucking you financially from everything about this console. Controllers, peripherals, my bad, features like voice chat, especially games, they've lost their minds and the average consumer is clearly taking notice. I will clap for every comment, for every based comment I see. Toasty man with 2 N's. Toasty man with 2 N's. A lot of states, so the taxes are insane, but not as bad as... Okay, well, that's good to hear, at least. I hope they increased... True! Listen, Scorsel, you're so right for that, brother. You're so right for that. I love it. Sorry for right, but you bought Apple TV just to play Sonic Dream Team. You have no... Did he? Did he really? He bought Apple TV just to play Sonic Dream... Brother is rich, chat. He is rich. Brother, man. Oh, no way. Okay, we know, guys. He's Apple products as well? Bro, I wish I could buy Apple products. I'm a fucking Android Andy because I can only afford them. You know what I mean? And Lord knows I'm only affording them because of fucking payment plans. You know what I mean? Everything I got in my life is a fucking payment plan, brother. You got that money. Pariah's Nintendo YouTuber career, Kara, has just begun. In a few months, he'll be collaborating with Scott the Woz. Good lord, I hope not. Jesus Christ. Scott the Woz, don't platform this fucking numpty. Good lord, he doesn't deserve it. Something being a luxury is a really bad argument because everything non-essential is a luxury. And if you think about it, literally everything is a luxury because even living in a home is a luxury because some people don't have houses. I do agree with the stance in principle. I think this sort of thinking is reductive. The reason why I also say the luxury argument makes no sense is because in the modern day, luxuries are a lot more omnipresent than they were when like 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago, right? Like we're at the point now where like not only is we have far more luxuries available to us, so expecting someone to go without them is like almost impossible in the modern day, right? Even like, for example, right? Like again, smartphones. Thank you so much. Smartphones are the perfect example, right? Living in a society without a smartphone is crazy work. Can you do it? Yes. But not being without it is such a detriment, especially with my new job. I literally have to go on an app to like clock in on the apps now. You cannot, and technically there's a phone that I can call to clock in too, because they have to have both options. But everything is so much more convenient on this that everyone basically, essentially, has to have one. Would you consider this a smartphone a luxury? You probably wouldn't really, even though technically it is. But like a cell phone like 20 years ago, no one at my school had a fucking mobile phone. You joking me? That's insane. Like there's one kid who maybe had one that was really, really rich. Do you know what I mean? But this is essential now, but it's expensive and you probably classify it as a luxury. Again, stuff like Spotify or like Amazon Prime Video or Netflix, you could technically classify them as luxuries, but expecting someone to go without literally any sort of these services is something that I think is insane to ask of the average working class person now. Like if someone told me like they were, like if someone like I did a financial audit of someone and they said, oh man, I'm trying to cut back, but I just don't know what to cut back on. And I'm like, okay, their expenses are their smartphone bill and like Spotify premium. I'd be like, okay, you're fine. Like there's no way you can feasibly say, I'm not telling you to go back to a Nokia 3310, nor am I telling you to get rid of your only form of like escapism luxury. I'm not doing that. But if it turns out someone's like got, you know, phone bill, Spotify, Amazon Prime, Netflix, fucking Uber One, fucking Deliveroo Plus, Amazon, like, do you know what I mean? Okay, like, what are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? That's too much. You can cut those back to about like 1 or 2 at most. But expecting someone to go without any luxuries in the modern day now is just not feasible. It's absolutely not feasible. What you can do is obviously temper them, but saying someone that shouldn't have any, saying it's a luxury, therefore, is much harder sell than it used to be. Like it's much harder to expect the average person to do it now because our standard of living has gotten so much better than it was. You know, it's just become so much better. So I think it's just a tone deaf argument. Is it technically true? Sure. It's just an extremely tone deaf argument to make in the modern day when these luxuries are generally more affordable to the average person now than they used to be. That would be my argument as to why the luxury argument is a bad argument. It's just reductive. It's just extremely reductive to everything. People can start charging crazy prices, then everything's just going to go up based on that logic. When Nintendo messing up the markets, PlayStation are already increasing their price for PS Plus. It's clear that Nintendo can do this, then other companies and offer better features definitely have the grounds to charge more. Nintendo hasn't the grounds to charge that much. Yes, it's objectively a problem. Let's not forget that the Switch 2 in Japan is 330 equivalent in USD. It also confirms that tariffs have no bearing on the price conventions. It's just pure greed. Oh yeah, like computers is another good example as well. Would you consider a computer a luxury when so much of our lives are computer-based now? I wouldn't. Technically, it is, yeah. I would not classify that as a luxury. If someone said like their laptop, because like for the longest time, chat, I was paying monthly for my laptop. You know that laptop I have? I was paying it off monthly. I think I had to pay like 32 quid a month for the last like 2 years. I've been paying it off slowly. Would you consider that a luxury expense for me? I wouldn't think so. I've needed that for work. I've done that so much that I guess technically I've used it for luxuries too. But a laptop is like near essential in the modern day. Like, are you joking me? That's insane. So it's like, it's weird. It's just a weird thing to frame. It speaks to you being out of touch when you say luxury. Therefore, that's what I would say anyway. Well, I like the other A games adopting how indie charges their games what publishers consider their value. I have reasonable doubts it'll be one-sided. There's already a joke about Nintendo tax where they charge more than what most people would consider worth their value. Like the DKC return renewals and we just mentioned too. I doubt publishers would charge lesser for ports/remasters of other games. Generally, they tend to be okay with it, but Nintendo are really, really bad. I'd say my laptop would be a luxury, but my schools had laptops that you needed to work on. Yeah, exactly. Like, it just makes no sense. You know what I mean? Zoomers like us love paying for experience, but we're still smart about how much money we spend on that. Switch 2 games really are going to make people think twice. Yeah, exactly. It's just too much. It's just too much. It's just too much. You know what I mean? I'll read I think I do have to head out, though, Chad. I do have to head out. I got work. I don't want to be late for work. I did already pack my work bag, so I'm not in, like, a super rush, but I do have to go. I'm not in a Mario Golf super rush. Yeah, like these are one of the prior takes I've disagreed on so hard. No, Nintendo didn't betray me, but as a gaming company, business, art, whatever, they are incredibly good and they are pushing as much as they can. They're not simply charging what they believe is fair or whatever. Nintendo could easily charge way less for all of their Switch 2 product and still make a killing. They want to get as much out of the consumer as possible because they can get away with it. This is a simple, this is what we hope for, fair pricing. I watched the entire video, I've only watched until 3:30, but it feels like I feel like you understood the point you were going for. And I don't want to be just a pissed off comment or whatever. It's disappointing, I guess, for me to be so flippant about it. Just don't buy it. Vote with your wallet and so on and so forth. Are capitalist methods of making people, making a change on an individual level. That's simply not how capitalism works. I clapped. Explained it far more cogently than I could. It's just facts. That's just honestly facts. The few who will not purchase are not going to offset the many who will, and thus Nintendo sees it as a perfectly okay thing to do. It's like when, like, I still think that Fortnite charging like 30 quid for like a bundle, like a skin bundle, is still an insane amount of money, right? But I'm saying, oh, vote with your wallet. It's not going to make them lower the price. Does that make sense? It's just a dog shit argument. In fact, you should kick up a fuss. That's what protests are for. Peaceful, obviously, but that's what protests are for, man. Because they're still making a shit ton of money, and they'll do it again in another 5 to 10 years when until we're paying $150 for video games with a winning wage still $7.25 an hour. Unfortunately, the impression your video gives me from what little I've watched, admittedly, is that you don't really care because you'll be able to afford it. Oh yeah, not only does he not care, but he also told about his financial situation too. Wasn't that so nice to learn about, chat? That he makes a pretty profit off of his YouTube channel. Oh, thank goodness for that. And that's the kind of all you care about. If you can't afford it, then don't buy it. Fantastic input, Mariah. Very cool. You'd make a cool Doug Bowser. So real, honestly. So fucking real. It's not well off. I don't know what everyone assumes because he's a YouTuber. He is well. I'm telling you, he's well off. He literally said, let me make a guesstimate as to the average gamer. Let's say you could afford 4 full price games a year. 4? No. If I'm making the assumption for the average game, I'm saying 2 at most. 2 is what I would say. Like, the average gamer gonna do 2, I would say, at most. Any more than that, and you've got like some spare income going around, you're probably better off than most if you can afford more than 2 full price games a year. Unreal behavior. I really don't agree with the games being expensive because all the hobbies are expensive. Yeah, so fucking stupid. Yeah, a book at $10, $15 at most. If there was an author that suddenly charged $30 for one book, so you can't say, well, yeah, exactly. Thank you. True. So fucking true for this. A reading example when I can apply to any hobby. You just can't use a completely different figure to justify the price of something. Also, this video of all videos is not the type to experiment to put more ads in your videos. I clapped. The ad situation. Pariah also making a killing off of the ads as well. Unreal. unbelievable. In solidarity chat with my working class Andes, this video on the Moresty channel will be unmonetized. This will be unmonetized, gamers. I don't want to make a single cent off of this. But fight the power, chat, until the next video. And then I'll, of course, full monetization, 20 ads, of course. I'm just being performative. Massive Elders logic makes no sense. Nintendo's not a struggling company. Neither were the people who right to voice their frustration. Such a sad and sudden massive upcharge. True! Can I be racist then? Listen. Save it for Helldivers too, silly, okay? You silly goose. I think a lower price will still get them the money. The need/want is probably the point that makes it worse for them. It's not that they need the extra money, they just want it. Yeah, exactly. It's literally a PS3, Xbox One situation. You know what I mean? It's insane. If you don't think it's not worth it, you are not allowed to buy it. It seems more reductive. Did he say exactly this? If you don't think it's not worth it, you're not allowed to buy it. I don't think he said this. As much as I hate this video, I don't think he actually said this. It seems like reductive and almost... He did say if you don't think it's worth it, you shouldn't buy it. But I don't think he said you're not allowed to buy it, if I'm being clear here. It feels more reductive and almost condescending take when it's shutting down any level-headed discussion. True, honestly. No shit, I won't buy it, but that isn't going to stop me from anyone else from talking about it. Yeah, true, honestly. Yeah, he didn't say that, if we're being accurate. I have to downvote misinformation. He didn't actually say that. He said you shouldn't, which is still a shitty argument, but that's technically not what he said. Majority of these comments are going to be filled with kids who don't have to earn a living or parents to support them financially. Yes, Nintendo can do whatever they want. However, the market, being the consumers, also have a right to be outraged. There's no argument to be had here outside the statement. You read it wrong, Musty. You're allowed to not buy it. If you don't think it's not worth it, you are allowed to not buy it. I mean, yeah, I did read it wrong. You're right, actually. My bad. Okay, I'll vote then. I'll vote then. Right, my bad. I read it wrong. And this is why I need my reading glasses. Thank you, Sean. Price is not the problem. It's deliberately killing physical games. And okay, this is just misinformation. They're not doing that. They have the cheek to ask for $90 for a key in a box. That's not what Nintendo's doing. It's not. It's misinformation. The game key card is misinformation. It's misinformation. Nintendo could charge $90 for a game because going to Space Adventure lost me on that one, big dog. Stick to Sonic glazing. I clapped again, gamers. I clap again. We're gonna clap again, gamers. We're gonna clap again. He got owned. He got owned with facts and logic. Oh man, he's not doing Sonic anymore. He's Nintendo glazing now. Nah, he needs to go back to Sonic, lads. He needs to go back to Sonic. Okay, you can't be doing this. You got ever since you stopped doing Sonic, you fucking fell off. We'll do one more. We'll do one more big clap, gamers. Very way to call people mad and offended when you got offended on Nintendo's behalf, for real. You lost me with this one. Even Sonic the Hedgehog 88638 said he lost you on that one. Couldn't be bothered to put a Sonic profile picture on, lad? Crazy. What else? One more. Oh, obviously this guy brings the inflation thing. He owns him on that. Yeah, I'm gonna just stick with my Steam Deck OLED and emulate my stuff. Man, I miss old Nintendo. Fuck you, nerd. A level-headed talk about Switch 2 when you spent the first 2 minutes of the video complaining about very reasonable criticism about Switch 2 price, asinine prices. Nice. I clapped, gamers. I clapped a lot. I clapped, gamers. I clapped. I don't think any of you guys left any nasty comments, did you? Hi, Sir Musty. Reporting it for harassment. I'm reporting the video. I'm reporting it for harassment, chat. He harassed me. He harassed me live. Death tax on online commenters having no idea what they're talking about. Hello, what the fuck? Banned for harassing me. Mods, ban him. Delete the comment and I'll unban you. I'm banning him from the chat. Thank you so much, Mario Adventure. Take you back in the raw. Okay, I pull up.
The Switch 2 drama looking crazy right now.
It is.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Mario Kart and Donkey Kong games.
Yeah, am I right? They're pretty good. It's a shame that Mario Kart is not evenly priced for the average consumer. But either way, gamers.
Tomorrow.
This will probably be the last time me covering this guy, because this guy seems like an absolute numpty. I think his format lends himself to talking out of his arse when it's anything except platformer / Sonic. So when he made a video about the Switch 2 prices, it came across as very tone-deaf and very stupid, despite presenting himself as level-headed. About my last video by Parai695, would he address the allegations? Would he come out with a bit of better faith? I am hoping, for the good ending, chat, for the good ending, because I never want to see a man's downfall. Maybe except in this case, but I never want to see a man's downfall. I'm hoping he addresses it, goes, hey, video is shit. Might be. Let me explain it further. Boom. You know what I mean? Like, ideally. Or the worst case is he doubles down and goes, everyone. We'll see. Hey, listen, we're going to keep our minds open, chat, okay? We're going to keep our minds open. Are we going to run you out of town once and for all?
Man, people are so mad at me. Boy, that last video did not go over well with a lot of people.
Absolutely did not.
Honestly,
I'll go normal speed. He's talking fast enough. We'll go fast enough.
it's a little bit funny. I saw a lot of comments to that video saying, stick to talking about Sonic stuff.
True! Truing? Can I get a truing? He's truing.
As if, you
Stick to
know,
Sonic.
I haven't made numerous videos that got a lot of people mad and started a whole bunch of controversy online with Sonic. It's my brand at this point. It's what I do, and I do it to myself, because I know when my videos are gonna make people mad. I knew that video would make people mad, but, I guess like Nintendo,
Then you maybe should have made it better. I don't know.
it was a lot worse than I was anticipating it to be. That is by far my most downvoted video that I've ever made.
The downvotes, guys. I lost money on it. Is he gonna give us the pariah statistics and financials, please?
Lost a number of subscribers from that video,
Good.
which
Down dukes, guys. The down dukes.
was surprising. And of course, a number of people were calling me a corporate bootlicker,
True.
whatever, all
Truing.
these things. But I don't
Truing.
care about any of that.
You sure
The
you
reason
don't?
I'm making this video
Let's
is
find out.
because amongst all that, I did see some comments of people saying that they were very disappointed in me because
Yes.
apparently I'm well off and I can afford to Switch 2, and so I don't really care about anyone else. If you can't afford it, that's your problem.
That is definitely how you came across. Is that fair to say, chat? Again, disagree with you if you want. Having watched the video literally yesterday, as of now, yes, that is exactly how you came across. Now, there's a difference between, playing devil's advocate, offering alternative opinions, and just straight up seeming like you're doing backflips, gluck gluck. You call Nintendo daddy, right? Sort of thing. You see what I mean? It definitely came across that way. Let's find out if does he address the allegations.
Some of the sentiment I saw in there, and that is not true. I am not well off. Like most Americans, I live paycheck to paycheck.
I don't know, brother. I can hear the white picket fence from here. I can hear the carpeted stairs from here, brother. I can smell the tater tots from here, little lad. Come on. Come on. Don't, you're lying to... Listen, what car did your mum used to drive you into work? Watch him say a Rolls Royce. Watch him say a Rolls Royce. No, listen, I don't believe... You know what? Don't believe you. Face cam, no opinion. All right, I don't get to analyze your background. I'm using a fucking green screen, right? Because I got my cupboard and fucking the thermostat in the background. But listen, I'm broke. I'm a brokey. I'm a certified brokey. All right, everyone knows that. We don't know, Pariah. You have got a butler on call. His
And
name is
I
Stefan.
am quite
I
concerned
spoke with him. He's a
about
nice
my
guy.
Financial future. You want to know how I'm paying for a Switch 2? I am selling a bunch of stuff on eBay. Not because of the Switch 2. I've just had a bunch of crap lying around for a long time that I've been meaning to get rid of.
Oh, sorry. Did you guys say that he's drop shipping stuff on eBay? He's a drop shipper. He's a drop shipper, gamers.
And it's been piling up. And now I've finally started actually selling it off. And because there's been so much of it, it's actually accumulated a decent amount of money. And most of that is probably going to end up going towards bills and food, but I'm going to put a bit aside to get a Switch 2. I'm not out of touch with people that are struggling financially.
Said guys, famous last words. I'm not, guys. I'm not out of touch. I'm not out of touch. Like, can we like have a list of lines that like it's just always the reverse, chat? I'm not out of touch always means you're out of touch. I'm just an honest guy means you're a fucking prick. What else is there? Is there like a list? Can we do like a list, gamers? Can we do like those are the two I'm coming up with right now. Sonic was never good. Real and true. Thank you. I'm a nice guy. Means you're an absolute cunt. I'm not a racist, but means you're actually a racist. I didn't want to make this video. Means you actually did. If he gives us another one of those, I'm just a nice guy. I'm just a nice guy. I didn't want to make this video, guys. Like, guys, I'm just an honest guy. The last video was just because I was being honest, guys. I was just being honest. Let's find out. This video is so long. It's not long enough.
Actually, I'm one of those people. But I'm also not a corporate bootlicker. I am just a rational, logical person.
Wait, I was just joking. I was joking. Oh my god. Can we get a hot time, please, Brian?
Not a corporate bootlicker. I am just a rational, logical person that does not allow my emotions to run wild.
Oh man. All right, absolute cinema of the fact that I predicted it, chat. From my life experience, as just as Mustafa, I'm not talking to Sebasi. From my life experience, anyone who's ever said that, that's basically signed for, I am a cunt who has zero emotional intelligence, right? And if we take you at face value that you are a logical person, what kind of dumb fuck goes, oh, hey guys, hang on, you're complaining about the Switch 2 prices? Don't you think there are better things to complain about? What? So guys, remember, he's branding himself as a logical person. What kind of logical person doesn't understand we can do two things at once? What kind of logical person compares, when they're doing the comparison thing of games aren't that expensive, insert media is not that expensive. Now, while I think it's a shoddy argument, if you were to bring a actual apt comparison, it would be movies, right? It'd be other forms of media. He compared it to space travel. What kind of logical person is this, chat? So not only is he an emotional dumb fuck, right? Self-admittedly, by saying he's a logical person, right? He's a fucking idiot on top of.
A lot of people were saying, regardless of anything, fuck Nintendo. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They're evil. You shouldn't be defending them. Which I don't think I was defending them. I would say I was just looking at things from their perspective and seeing what led them to make the decisions that they did.
I don't think you're qualified for that. I think your format fails you, Pariah. Like, if I was to make a video, like, kind of seeing both sides, I think I'd be able to do it with the tact and approach and the framing to make it clear that, hey guys, I'm on your side, but this is what probably what Nintendo's thinking, and here's what we are thinking. Does that make sense? Like, your framing, if you're telling me it wasn't, it very much came across like you were. And I think that's just, again, a failing of your format. Your format is just dog shit, Pariah. I'm going to be honest, your format is just terrible, man. Just take some notes. I'm really hoping one of the comments is just someone saying, brother, you need to take notes. Because this, like, your rambly format is just shit for this sort of thing. When it comes to Sonic, do what you want, bro. You probably got that Sonic rears, you know what I'm saying? But, like, when it comes to this, like, don't fucking do it, man.
That's just understanding the beast you're dealing with. If I went out into the woods and I found some bear cubs and then the mother came and mauled me to death, I wouldn't be mad at the bear for doing that. I know why she did it, and she was just acting in her nature.
Not really the best example, considering Nintendo. You're making it seem like it's in Nintendo's nature to, price gouge us, right? Which now you might say, oh, but capitalism ensures that. Nintendo has been a company that has championed affordability and has garnered its fan base off of, like, orienting itself around families. So, and by extension being an affordable option. So you saying, oh, it's like a bear, it's instinct. It doesn't work. This analogy doesn't work. And write a script, Pariah, write a script.
Nintendo is a company, yes, which means they do things.
Yes, he's going to do that, but you do things in capital.
In their own interest to try to make as much money as they can. Like every single company in the world does.
Again, I think I just explained to you why that is a stupid analogy, right, chap? The whole affordability, family,
That is literally what companies are made for.
Thank you for the lesson in Capitalism 101, Pariah. I didn't need that from you, but sure.
If you had a product that you were selling for $10...
I see what you're saying, but given his past activity, its discount habits, and what there's a usual pattern. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're trying to get. This is spoken like someone who thinks Nintendo is still the little scrunkly, bunkly, junky little company, which they ain't. They ain't anymore. They're not our company anymore. They kind of used to be for us, a little bit more so, but definitely not within the last 10 years. So this guy's just brain dead along with tone deaf. I don't know.
And making a decent little
Look,
profit
I told you, man,
on
you
it,
need to get over
but
her,
it
okay?
was
There's
selling
plenty more
like
fish in the
crazy,
sea.
and people were
How
really
do I
loving
look,
it.
yellow man?
Thank you so much.
One sentence off from doing in Alex Yard. If you can't get with this, you are okay with obesity.
Oh man, guys, come on! You can't, listen, chat, listen. Okay, that joke was funny, Team Zombie. I'll give it a pass to you. You guys can't keep like comparing every single like shoddy YouTuber I fucking covered. Okay, you can't keep that. Guys, this is like a mix of like Backseat Sakurai and who is this kid? I can't believe this. You can't keep doing this, okay, guys? You can't keep getting away with it. But thank you for the 5.
You might start to think maybe you're undervaluing your own product, and so maybe as an experiment, you try to increase the price to $20, and you find that people are still buying it in droves. What is your response gonna be? Are you gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna charge $10 anyway. I don't need that extra profit. That's being greedy.
Yeah, but people have a right to just be as mad about it. Like if we're coming at it from a corporate perspective, sure, but people are gonna be mad, and people get to be mad. Like, I don't know, we even trying. What are we doing?
Of course not. People are gonna charge $20, and some people are gonna go, maybe I could even charge $30, because that is how the value of a product is determined. A product is worth what people are willing to pay for it, and it's a balance.
Guys, are you learning capitalism 101, chat? Are you learning? Are you learning, chat? Are you learning? Have you got your notes? There's gonna be an exam at the end of the reaction.
Act that needs to be achieved between.
He's doing the thing where he talks in a vaguely confused as to why anyone's upset voice to sound modest. I mean, that's just how Pariah sounds, brother. He sounds like a fucking prick. I'll be so real with you, man. I'll be so real with you. Like, I would like to imagine a lot of the time. No, actually, I would like to imagine. Basically, every single time I've ever watched the video on this stream, I always come at it from a neutral perspective. I'm always willing to be convinced. And while Pariah's still got 17 minutes to try and convince me, I have no faith. I have literally no faith. I can't even pretend, chat. I literally have no faith he's going to convince us. I think he's just a fucking idiot, I'm going to be honest. And that's just kind of it. I think he's just a fucking
charging
idiot,
as much as you can, but not charging so much that you lose your customer base. In the case of the Switch 2, I'm sure Nintendo was looking at that price increase and realizing that it would make a lot of people unable to buy their product, but they probably figured that the additional profits they make for selling their products at a higher price would ultimately counteract the reduction in sales numbers and result in them making more money. Is that evil? Or is that the exact kind of decision that a company should make to achieve its objective?
Yeah. There's just no nuance, isn't it? He's just... I don't know what to say, chat. This guy's fucking boring. Yes, I want the first 4 minutes of your apology could be to be capitalism 101, economics 101. I don't care, bro. I just... corporate... This just... Again, remember, guys, he was like, I didn't think he'd come across like I was being... Remember, guys, I'm like one of you. I live paycheck to paycheck, guys. I just sell stuff on eBay. Yap. Corporate shilling. Yap. Corporate shilling. Yap. I'm like, brother, no one cares. We know this. Like, what's supposed we know this? Like, the worst part is you're not even like coming at it for... Like, even if you are just giving us the corporate perspective, it's not new. We know this. We know that. Why are you putting this out there like it's new information? Yes, I know that it's in the company's best interest to make line go up. Chad, did you know that? Is this like new information to you? Is this new information to you, Chad? Yes. They like it when line was here and now we're up here. And then can we go up here and then to the moon? We know this. This ain't new. This ain't new, man.
You might not like that decision because they're a rich company and they could afford to make slightly less money on their products, but what world do you live in? Since when is that a thing any company does?
It's a thing that Nintendo has generally branded themselves on when they were like relatively up and coming, you know?
Stop posting about it! I'm tired!
It's boring. Good Lord.
Having taken an economics class, Nintendo's
Jonathan,
pricing is pure nightmare fuel, skull emoji.
So listen, Jonathan Argrew said he's in economics. He's taking an economics class. So what qualifications do you have, Pariah? Just go back to Sonic, bro. Stick to Sonic. Stick to Sonic, little gup. Stick to Sonic.
Company says, you know what? Let's intentionally choose to make less money than we could. I'm sure the shareholders will really love to hear that. That is why multiple times in the last video I said that this whole thing is unfortunate, because given the current economic climate, I think that Nintendo is making relatively sound decisions for their business.
And if you weren't emotionally stunted as a child, you could have made it so that you made it come across as, hey guys, I'm on your side, but I'm trying to like come up with an opinion. But I still understand why you guys are mad, but here's why Nintendo might be doing this, but I'm still on your side. Like any person with worth their salt could do both. I know I could. If I was gonna make a video like talk about the price, like a standalone video, I could do this. Like I want to make just to clarify, I'm gonna make a video on this standalone video on the game key cards, because I think there's a lot of misinformation going about the game key cards, and I want to clarify what the good is, what the shit is, and why people are angry. I'm gonna do it in a way that goes, yeah, like in a sense, people are quite rightfully mad, but here's the angle that you should be mad about, and here's the angles which I think Nintendo's being a good thing, and here's what we as the consumers can try to do, or the conversation we could try to have. There's a way you can do this, but your format just fails you, and I think you're just an idiot. Even if you were to write, I don't even think a script will save you. I'll be honest, man. I don't think the script will save you. Yeah, so let's intentionally upset a massive player base and risk going back to the poor sales of the Wii U days. Yes, that's something. Don't you understand? Odd, but that's something every company wants. That's something every company wants, man. I don't get it.
And that comes at the detriment of us. As I also said in the last video, I think Nintendo raising their prices is a byproduct of a bigger problem. I'm going to talk about that more in a bit. But first, I want to quickly say that another thing I saw a lot in the comments is people talking about $90 for physical games and how that's absolutely absurd.
That is misinformation, chat. Just to make it clear, $90 for physical in America has not been confirmed yet. While they are confirming that there's going to be a different price for physical and digital, as far as we're concerned, as of now in America, it's $80, right? I don't know if that means $80 physical, or if it means $80 digital, then $85 or $90 physical. We don't know yet. So this is technically, as of now, misinformation.
And that's a good example of what I was talking about, that this whole outrage is a little bit overblown, because as far as I can tell, $90 for physical games is not real. That's not...
Yes, and in my video, I explain it in a way that both made it clear that you guys were wrong for spreading this information, but understandably also on the consumer side, because if Nintendo just clarified, none of this would have happened. I think that's literally bar for bar what I say in my video. Yes, you Americans are dumb, but if Nintendo clarified, none of this would be an issue. Again, I'm making it clear that what you guys are doing is misinformation, but ultimately it's Nintendo's fault. They are the guys that hold the keys to all the information. They could have just put it all out there, but instead they're making us guess. So of course misinformation is going to fester. If you don't make a statement, what do you think is going to happen? You see what I mean? Crazy how I was able to do it in a way that shames Nintendo and the consumer in a way that doesn't sound like I'm a cunt. Does it make sense, guys? Misinformation? Don't tell misinformation, okay? I spread misinformation a lot.
Not a thing. If you look at online retailers like Walmart, a copy of Mario Kart World physical is $80 US. If you look at any place where they talk about $90 for physical games, they never cite anything from Nintendo where they've said that. It is actually fake news, and people are getting mad about something that's not even real. So I do think it's fair to say that people are going a little bit overboard with...
Yes, just like the internet always does, right? What you should be doing as a content creator is sifting through the weeds of the nonsense and finding the kernel of truth, which is that it's 90. They've already established that in the EU and other countries, prices for physical and digital are going to be different. Since Nintendo were very vague with their information and they clarify it, of course, this is going to spread. This is fucking crazy. Like, this guy's boring. This guy's just fucking boring, man. Honestly, like, Jesus Christ, man. Does he not understand? Zero emotional intelligence, zero nuance, zero dumb. It's not even emotional intelligence. It's logical. It's intelligence. It's just standard intelligence. No IQ or EQ share. None.
The anger.
None. Pariah has zero.
I ask that you just calm down a little bit and hear me out here, because there's a lot of...
Okay. You know, I'll take a sip of my Lucozade. I'll calm down. It's pink lemonade. I love the pink lemonade flavor.
Things I could say to further explain my reasoning behind what I said in my previous video. Okay. And maybe I will get into some of that stuff here, but before any of that, I just want to get right down to the most important thing that I didn't talk about in the last video, because it's gonna require me to get a bit into politics.
Politics mention! Way! I love it. Musty, when you check the time, it's nothing. So, I can't wait to eat this burger. Turns out it was nothing burger. Politics is great. Game, raise the price, chat. Raise the price. Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, fucking Keir Starmer, Lopetegui, Unai Emery, Bolsonaro, Idi Amin, Genghis Khan, Hitler. Yes, politics.
Which I don't normally like to do on this channel. I want to keep that out, but I'm gonna make an exception here. What is the real problem? The problem on the surface is that Nintendo's stuff is too expensive. Well, what makes it too expensive? The fact that you can't afford it? Well, why can't you afford it?
Is he gonna call you a brokey?
Joe Biden made the switch too?
Hello, America. Soda. I'm Joe, Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe made the switch too. They should call it the Sleepy 2. That's what they should do.
Because inflation is going nuts right now, and the prices of everything have gone up, and people are struggling just to get by. Okay, why are people struggling to get by? because they don't.
Oh, okay, guys, hang on. Is he gonna do the? You should be mad at Nintendo. You should be mad at the system. You should be mad. We live in a society, you guys. We should live in a society. He's gonna do one of those.
Have enough money. Why don't people have enough money? Because they're not being paid enough. Again, as I said in the previous video, when adjusted for inflation, Nintendo charging $80 for their games equates to almost the exact same amount of money as charging $60 for games in 2017.
He made, by the way, guys, he made this dog shit argument last time, and my counter last time is going to be the same counter this time. Nintendo setting the precedent that they are the ones to raise the price at such a harsh degree than is normal in the UK, and for the second time within a short space of time in the US, is something that conceptually is very scary, since Nintendo games never go on sale. That's the big issue. If the PS6, say for example, at the moment it's £60 for a full price game in the UK, right? Obviously now it's jumping up to 75 with the Switch too. But let's say the PS6 came out and they were like, okay, we're going to take it from 60 to 70, right? It's like, okay, I'm a bit more okay with that because Sony games typically go on sale. They understand the gentleman's agreement. Like right now, I could probably get God of War Ragnarok. It's probably going to go on sale at some point because again, I can't afford God of War Ragnarok at 60 quid. It's probably going to go on sale. We're probably going to be able to afford it at some point. Yeah, exactly. Nintendo games don't do that, and that is the issue. Of course, Pariah is not going to mention that in the slightest, is he? So, of course, he's a fucking idiot. So even remember, guys, this is I don't use emotions, guys. I don't use emotions. Here's me using both way better than you. Fucking dipshit.
And the Switch
Jesus
came
Christ.
out. Actually, when you think about it, they're selling their games for less because not every game is $80. DK Bonanza being 70 means.
I remember in an interview Nintendo did at the first look for the trailer of Switch 2 had them remind people about how Nintendo being known for their affordable prices. So I don't know where that one. Exactly. Like it doesn't like the worst part is this isn't even like do you know the worst part is you don't even have to go back to my childhood chat. We could just go back to your childhoods. So of course, again, I remember the Game Boy. Like the whole marketing behind the Game Boy was no backlight, affordable. You know what I mean? It's the affordable option, right? This Nintendo Selects range for the Wii U and 3DS. That's about as far back as you have to go. You don't have to go that far back to remember when Nintendo used to be affordable. They used to like go on sales regularly. You don't have to go that far back, honestly. Mario Kart was going to be $80 for the next 10 years. Yeah, exactly. That's what fucks with people, man.
That they're selling that for the equivalent of less money than like a Mario Odyssey when that came out.
Is he going to mention what I just said?
Regardless, even though the games are in actuality the same or even slightly less money than they were previously, a lot of people won't be able to afford them, and they're very upset about that, which I get. And there are two solutions to this problem. There's the
oh, hang on. Oh my god, if he says wait for a sale. Oh, if he says wait for a sale, ban his channel. Ban his channel, YouTube. Ban his channel.
One that a lot of people have been pushing for, which is Nintendo lowering their prices.
Drop the price! Drop the price!
I don't think is going to happen. It's not that
People can still yell it. As cringe as it is, don't get me wrong. It's cringe to do it in a treehouse chat that's going to disappear once the chat goes offline. Better off doing it on Twitter so it can at least go trending and get more news out there. Maybe get an article written on Dick Serto or some shit. Or the Metro on a fucking... it's cringe, but I don't blame people in principle for doing it.
was saying leave the big multi-billion-dollar corporation alone. It's just that I don't think that all this complaining is going to result in anything.
It doesn't mean people shouldn't do it. Doesn't mean people shouldn't... Oh, what? Remember, guys, this is class solidarity. This is Mr. Paycheck to Paycheck. This is Mr. Paycheck to Paycheck, chat. This is why he's yelling at you. He's saying protest is useless, effectively. Whereas I'm saying, if you are going to protest, be a bit more effective about it. Don't spam it in their chat. Instead, you're literally better off spamming on Twitter. Because, again, it could go trending. Articles could be written about it. Maybe like, convince your big YouTubers to talk about it. Yeah, like, literally, that is the best form of activism you could do. Get it trending. Maybe, like, if you can get some big YouTubers that you know to talk about, get them to talk about it. Spread the awareness. And then potentially, by social pressure, we can get them to change. Has it really worked in the video game industry? Maybe there's not too much precedent for that. But if we go to movies, hey, it worked with fucking ugly Sonic, didn't it? So, like, protest works. Like, it literally works in some instances. And even then, I think it's important to let them know how we feel. Obviously, the best form of protest is voting with your wallet. Of course, if you don't think the price is fair, you should say exactly that. But I'm gonna, bruv, you're gonna get me to say the protest version of let people enjoy things. I hate let people enjoy things as a statement because it's just fucking cringe. Let people protest things! Let people protest things!
But regardless, let's say Nintendo does listen and they...
I think the issue I have with modern boycotting is the protesters that they don't commit to it for too long. No, it's true. No, there's definitely an issue with that. So what I'm saying to you is that you could probably there's ways to do it more effectively. Again, getting big YouTubers to talk about it, continuously kicking up a fuss. Because from my experience with the internet, right, what ends up happening is it ends up being a big flash in the pan and it disappears. How often have you seen especially in the modern day, how often have you seen a YouTuber get some controversy? They literally ignore it for a week and the shit is back to normal. Maybe their channel took a bit of a dip because the fans aren't subscribing, but they're just back to plain sailing, right? So in those, in a lot of cases, yeah, maybe one singular flash in the pan works, right? But we have to be more focused about it. Make a big stink once, repeated protests, this sort of thing is how it works. If people want to organize themselves, if people aren't organizing themselves effectively, that's a fair critique to make. But if you do want to be the change, maybe you could organize a lot more effectively is what I'm trying to say, for example, if I really wanted to be as effective in my protest as possible, I'd make a video, I'd kick up a fuss, and then a week from now, I'd kick up another fuss. I would try and repeatedly get the story as trending as possible, as many times as possible. I tried to make this as marketable protest as possible, so that as many people talk about it as possible, so there's as many eyes as possible, so it gets on as many conversations as possible, for as a repeated and duration as possible, that's the kind of thing you do if you really want to be effective. So yeah, again, are people being as effective as they could be? No. Spamming a chat is not effective. I don't think so, but just let people, in principle, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. When I walk past Trafalgar Square when I'm in the morning, sometimes when I do a night shift, and I see people protesting, fuck knows if that protest is going to lead to anything. But hey, good on you. You got out of bed and fucking picked up a sign and picked up a megaphone and decided to rally again for something you believe in. Good on you. At least you did something, right? At least you did something, man. I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know. Also, how the lot of Nintendo dolls were still burnt. Yeah, it's true. Yes, it's true. But
do lower their prices, so now more people can afford the Switch 2 and its games. Hey, that's great. But you know what that doesn't do? It doesn't make food cost less. It doesn't make
wow, gamers, did you know you cannot complain about two things at once? I clapped. I clapped, gamers. I clapped when Pariah said that. Oh my fucking lord.
Rent go down, it doesn't make your healthcare more affordable. It doesn't do anything to help you through this difficult economic time.
Yes, but we can complain about both things, Mr. Pariah. I don't know what to say, Chad. I don't know what to say. Boy, I can't wait to make cat quack. What about the starving kids in Africa? I made the exact same comparison. Why do you come about racial issues with politics? It's literally so stupid. Oh man.
Whereas solution 2 would, which is that you should be getting paid more. And to be clear, I'm not necessarily saying you need to get a better job. I'm saying...
Okay, I'm glad you clarified that, because if you didn't, oh boy, that would have been pretty bad, right?
If you want to get mad at an organization because of your financial hardship, then it shouldn't be Nintendo. It should be your employer for not paying you a fair wage. You should be mad at your government for not forcing your employer to pay you a fair wage. And
as far as I'm concerned, while he is correct, firstly, we can just do both. But secondly, if this sort of thing is what wakes people up to the inequality of modern society, I'm okay with that. If people can have if somebody in 5 years, right, deciding to run for local office to have change, right, and their initial impetus was spamming drop the price in a Treehouse live chat, I am okay with that. I am okay with someone being a bit cringy in their protest now if it means that this wakes them up to the injustice and inequalities of modern day capitalism and they decide to actually do something about it. Does that make sense? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with someone maybe being a bit less effective than they should be with changing the system, and then potentially using that as an impetus to change the system a bit more. Be it more effective protest on this sort of things, being more effective protest in other things, being a bit more, actually reading up about your local elections and stuff. I am okay with that. Personally, I'm just saying, I'm okay with that. Pariah is not though. Crazy, huh? He's saying don't even bother trying. Crazy, huh? Woke must... unironically, what the hell? I've become so wokesty in one stream. What the hell? I am become cringe. Former woke. How have you done that? Have you done... Bro, you made me woke. You made me woke, bro. I can't believe this. I can't wait to get back to talking about yapping about video games again. I can't wait till Thursday. Then we can talk about video games like a normal streamer. These are probably my least favorite kinds of videos. Response that just reiterate takes from the OG actually sound worse. I call it the Cope response, like a Cope live stream or Cope video. I'm a big fan of these frying pans, I'll be honest with you. I'm a big fan. they always inadvertently made the original worse. I'm a big fan.
Not providing aid to those that
The
are
woke
struggling
mind virus.
financially. And this is not just whining, I want to make more money without doing more work. If you look at the economy historically, when you adjust for inflation, people today, on average in America, are making less money than their grandparents did. Inflation has been causing the prices of everything to go up.
The woke mind
that
virus
includes games, but the
getting woke
wages
gamers.
have not increased.
Woke meter depends on a video basis.
It literally is true. Listen, if someone gets into chicanery, I'll get into chicanery. If someone gets into life, I'll get woke. Okay, I'll get woke. I can be woke when I want to, chat. Okay, don't follow me on Twitter anymore. Okay, I'm gonna start talking about Greta Thunberg. All right.
To compensate.
So they them. Shut up.
For that. And that is leading to people not being able to make ends meet and not being able to afford products that are priced the same as they were previously.
Society,
that is what a time of economic hardship is. Things get more expensive, life gets harder for people, and they can't afford the things that they used to be able to afford. It sucks, but it...
Hey, some must shit. Mods, subscribe to Frying Pan Sam, okay? For more bangers like that.
It's not Nintendo's fault. As far as I'm aware, someone correct me if I'm wrong on this, apparently Nintendo does pay their employees pretty decently. You remember way back in the Wii U days when Nintendo wasn't doing so well? Rather than lay off a bunch of people, Nintendo's executives took pay cuts, which is something I've literally never heard any other company do ever.
So, since Nintendo set the precedent, Iwata specifically, should I say, since Iwata set the tone that it is in fact possible for a CEO to take a price cut in order to save the livelihoods of their employees, it is possible that some of the people at the top of these companies are maybe earning a bit too much. And maybe they could afford to have a little less of a comfortable life so more people can afford stuff. And again, if somebody being more made aware of this if someone's initial impetus to waking up to being woke, if someone's initial impetus to these issues are them spamming drop the price on a Treehouse live stream, I am okay with that. I'm okay with that. And I suppose if I'm being nice, I suppose it's nice that you're also letting people know about this as well, Pariah. It's a shame that it took a collective 30 minutes of content for you to be able to make people go woke.
Maybe things are different now with their new leadership, I'm not sure. But personally, I think there are much bigger problems to worry about, like the potential global economic disaster that these fucking tariffs might cause.
He did it again, chat. He literally did it again. Can we not complain about gamers? I'm just saying, chat. I'm just saying. And I saw a chat message earlier with someone saying, "Monsieur, I like the flannel and your dashing good looks. You can only compliment me on one thing at a time." If you're gonna flirt with me, chat, you can only do it one thing at a time, okay? It's either I'm well-groomed I just woke up. It's not well-groomed in the slightest. Same on my hair. I need a haircut.
There are much bigger problems, not just out there in the world, but coming for you. So there. I hope that makes my perspective clear and understandable to people. I'm sorry...
Oh, can I hear that again? I just want to hear that one more time. When we get Madam Cleansty, shut up.
...world... but coming for you. So there. I hope...
for me, it's that, like, if we're talking in a literal sense, right, that someone is, like, wealthy enough to have it so that the Switch 2 being priced high is probably the biggest issue they have in their life, right? Let's say, for example, that what you're trying to say is that you should complain about this because there's bigger things going on. But let's say in a literal sense, there's people out there who are financially well off enough where they're complaining about the Switch 2 price in principle, or they're with us in principle. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with someone only complaining about one thing if it's the one thing they believe in. You know what I mean? Like, far be it from someone to be a single issue vote. Would it be nicer if people could, like, understand all the plights of the world at the same time? But if someone's quite literally a single issue vote, in this case, a single issue person, where they're like, it's literally, I am upset with the Switch 2. I don't care about it. It's just the Switch 2. I want to play my Bing Bing Wahoo baby games. I don't care about the economy. It's too expensive. I'm still happily gonna line the picket fence with them, even if they're not necessarily a class soldier. Does that make sense? I don't know what to tell you. This just seems like you're being like, no, you cannot protest about it. You cannot protest about it. You have to protest about more effective things. And I'm just like, you can protest about anything you want. It's your free time. You can do what you want.
/r.
Shut Oh, man, we already getting woke, aren't we? We're getting woke, aren't we? We should be bound to the woke Squire Empire. Listen, guys, listen. This is a rare instance, Chad. This is a rare instance where I'm going to talk about real shit, okay? I want to get back to my bing bing woohoo, all right? I literally live stream as an escape. I don't live stream to educate you guys. Educate yourselves, okay? Educate yourselves.
That makes my perspective clear and understandable to people. I'm sorry I'm not going with the flow and getting in an uproar like everybody else is.
No one is asking you to. No one is asking you to. Like, I wouldn't say I've necessarily joined the uproar, because if you're asking me, thanks to the fact that I worked a bunch of shifts in March, and I dipped into my savings a tiny bit, I was able to afford a Switch 2 pre-order, because I believe that in the UK, at least, the price is a bit fair. But in principle, I'm 100% understanding where people are coming from. Are you joking me? Like, if I never worked those extra shifts, I wouldn't have been able to afford it. And I would feel like I was being priced out by a company that was generally the affordable option. So there is a way of coming at it with a bit more emotional intelligence. Ooh, boo, did I scare you? Boo, feelings, did I scare you, Brian? Did I scare you? I'm capable of doing that because I'm a much smarter person than you. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, brother.
But I'm looking at the bigger picture. You can say, fuck Nintendo because they're a big corporation, but I say, hate the game, not the player. I don't think...
I can hate both. I can hate both. I'm a hater. I'm a hater, Brian. You can't stop me. You can't stop me.
think they're the bad guys because they're trying to do the best for themselves in the current economic climate.
I am okay. Yes, in principle, say it again with me, Chad. Say it again with me. Yes, I'm okay with companies doing interesting companies, but when you've positioned yourself as the affordable family option and you're pricing your player base out, it is bad. It is bad.
Really want to start talking politics? You want to know what I think?
Oh, whoa, hey, whoa, okay, listen. Don't need to know who you voted for. Don't need to, whoa, okay, like, economics, inflation, that makes sense, because we're talking about, you know, like, prices and stuff, but, hang on. I got.
In the current economic climate. You really want to start talking politics? You want to know what I think?
I think those damn Browns need to get out of my country. I don't know, guys. There's something about it. They just don't mesh with our culture.
In the current economic climate. You really want to start talking politics? You want to know what I think?
I think we should build a wall. Honestly, I think Trump was so right for that.
In the current economic climate. You really want to start talking politics? You want to know what I think?
I think Israel has a point, Chad. I think Israel really has a point. Honestly.
In the current economic climate. You really want to start talking politics? You want to know what I think?
Man, Ukraine really doesn't have a point, does it? Russia should just take him. They should just take him. They really should. Oh, man.
I think that capitalism as a whole is responsible for most problems in the world and will probably one day lead to the end of human civilization.
I clapped, gamers. I clapped when the bootlicker pretended to be on our side again. I clapped, gamers. I clapped, gamers. I clapped when... Welcome, comrade, to communism. The hammer and sickles are down the hall to the left, okay? They're down the hall to the left.
Anyway.
So brave, gamers. What a brave take. What a brave take, gamers.
I have some other thoughts about this whole Switch 2 thing, so let's shift gears to something a little bit less intense. I think that a big part of all of this anger for Nintendo comes from the way that they presented all this information.
Water is wet. It is, in fact, very
Capitalism bad when not Nintendo.
It's true. Capitalism, but capitalism's bad. Ooh, look at this money I got wired in my bank account from Nintendo. Ooh. He's on the payroll, chat. Check his bank account. Audit his paperwork. Audit him.
I think they
the IRS needs to audit him.
Here. The way that they did everything, where they had the direct, where they showed off all these cool games, but they didn't talk about any of the prices. And then
check his purchase history.
Like, oh yeah, by the way, it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg for all this. I think that is a big cause for all this visceral reaction, because the way that someone receives information can dictate their reaction to it, even if it's the exact same information.
So it's weird that you say this, but you're not cognizant of that you fell for the same trap last video. It's how strange is that? Yes, how you present information matters, but why weren't you cognizant of this when you made your previous video? where you literally fucking did backflips on Nintendo's dick for like 15 minutes. What out of the 20? What was the point? What was the point?
As an example, the Switch 2 Direct itself, I watched it, and I'll tell you, I was flipping out with the Kirby Air Riders announcement, because I love Kirby Air.
I think that might be his point. Well, if anything, if he's cognizant this, if he's aware of this, then he should implement. He should like preach what he practices, right? Or practice what he preaches, should I say? He should be a lot more careful with his language. Maybe script his videos a bit. I don't know.
Ride, but I thought that game would never get a sequel. So watching it, I'm like, oh, what's this? A new Kirby game? Nah, probably not. Forgotten Land wasn't that long ago, and they're doing the new version of it. Maybe they're teasing Smash already. Could be. But then the exhausts appear on the Warp Star, and I'm like, no.
Frankly, I don't care. I'm skipping ahead a little.
The time. Normally, I just, after the fact, skim through all the trailers for the things that I'm actually interested in, which is what I did, for example, with something like Doom the Dark Ages. I didn't watch the Xbox game.
Don't care. He likes Kirby. I have to switch sides.
In a very mundane and unexciting way. With the way Nintendo decided to do all this Switch 2 announcement stuff, they really primed themselves to get people as mad as possible, because you show all these cool, new, exciting Switch 2 games, and people are going, oh my god, this looks amazing! Look at all these wonderful games I'm about to play, all these cool experiences I'm about to have.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I said it before. Like, them not showing the price was cowardly. We know this, Pariah. We know. Let me skip ahead a little.
Me, Sonic Forces is a Sonic game that's not very good, but...
Okay, what the hell did Sonic come from?
leads to this very extreme emotional reaction. Pulled out from excitement turns into disappointment and then anger. The rug got pulled out from under you. And that leads to this very extreme emotional reaction from many people. And if being a Sonic fan and seeing the reception to Sonic Forces still to this day has taught me anything, is that people do not get over the way they acquire certain information. To me, Sonic Forces is a Sonic game that's not very good, but to a large number of Sonic fans out there, they are still angry at that game for whatever they think it did.
Yeah, everything will be someone's 9/11. Oh.
Despite the fact that we are almost 10 years away from its release at this point. Personally, I can separate my experience of learning something from the actual thing itself. I'm not still freaking out and super hyped over Kirby Air Riders. I'm excited for the game and I'm looking forward to it, but I'm more excited for Doom the Dark Ages because I think that will probably be a game that I jive with a lot more and have more fun with.
Guys, he's very logical, guys. He's not emotional. He's a logical guy.
Think of it this way. What if Nintendo approached presenting all this Switch 2 stuff differently? Let's say instead, a week before the Direct, they revealed all the pricing information. They say Switch 2 is going to be $450, games are going to range from $70 to even $80 in some cases and everything. Then I think the reaction would have been very different. I think initially to that, people would go, whoa, what the fuck, Nintendo? That's really expensive. And people would be going, I don't think I'm going to be able to afford that. What the hell? Like, it's still obviously going to get a negative...
Yeah, that's true. They probably could have done that.
...reaction. But if you just hear nebulous prices for things you don't even know what they are yet, then you don't have that investment in what you're going to be missing out on. And then you have that week go by where people have time to digest and internalize this information. Okay. Then when the Direct is on, everyone's not going, ooh, I can't wait to see what we're going to be playing. You go, well...
Or they could have just put the price in the Direct like they did on the Switch 1. Crazy. Crazy. Zozim? No, you're speaking too much sense.
I'm probably not going to be able to get a lot of these games, but I want to see what happens. Who knows? Maybe they'll be able to convince me if I can manage to afford it. And you watch the Direct with tepid excitement, where you see all the cool games and you go, ooh, it does look really good, but that's a lot of money. Same information, but presented in a different way, and I think that would have led to a different reaction. So I just want to ask people to take a moment to think. Are you really mad about the prices of Switch 2?
Oh, hang on. Hang on. We're back to a normal take. Hang on.
Or are you mad about the way this whole thing played out?
I'm mad about both. The fact that they hid it was cowardly, and the fact that they were the ones to set the new price benchmark in the UK from £60 to £75, a company that doesn't go on sale anymore, or like doesn't do sales for the last 10 years or so. Yes, I am mad at both. I am mad at both, Pariah.
And maybe you are actually upset about the prices, and if so, that's totally fair. Another thing I'd like to point out is that from my perspective, I think about games in a way that maybe some people don't. Like I said, I am not well off, so the increased prices of Switch 2
Check his bank account, chat. Check his bank account.
are going to affect me. But
Check his bank
personally,
account.
the thing that keeps me from playing games is not prices, it's time. I don't have enough time to play games as much as I want to.
Old.
I do pay a lot for games because it's not just a pastime that I enjoy, it's something that I deeply love and am passionate about. I care about video games as an art form, and because of that,
I care about games, guys.
I'm willing to spend some decent money on it. I save up and I cut corners in other places to be able to afford these things, but I have to cut out other things in order to be able to do it. Like,
I don't know, man. The patrons are paying for your games, aren't they? Aren't they?
My swordsmanship club that I was going to, I stopped
hang on.
things in order to be able to do it. Like my swordsmanship club that I was going to, I stopped going to that because I can't afford it. And
swordsmanship club, huh? What the? Is that what you get? Is that what you get? Huh? Sword club? He's not. Check his tax return. All I'm saying, chat. All I'm saying, I could never afford going to a swordsmanship club. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, gamers. That's all I'm saying. So, but I don't know. Check his tax return. Check his tax return, gamers.
You know what I was saying about selling stuff on eBay?
Guys, I'm a brokey as well. I can't only afford one butler now.
I sold my sword, and I'm selling my protective gear too, because I can't afford to do that right now. Like I said, gaming is a cheap hobby. It's easier for me to keep that one in my life and cut out other ones. But
Brawler must versus sword fighter pariah who solos.
We got to do that, don't we? We got to do like pariah versus Moresty. Brawler versus sword fighter. See who wins. Level 9 CPUs, level 50 amiibos. You know what I mean? We got to see who wins that.
Easier for me to keep that one in my life and cut out other ones.
Okay, like, while, again, I'm glad that you've had a lot of hobbies, and I'm glad some of them are relatively cheaper compared to others, but again, that does not help the average gamer. You said it in your video, like, oh, board games are so much better. And, like, most of us don't care. Like, I'm glad that you have, if I'm being real for a second, if I'm being nice, I'm glad that you've had all hobbies, and I'm glad, and gaming, relatively speaking, might be cheap. It does not help the average gamer. When you tell me, oh, like games are so much cheaper compared to sword fighting or space, I don't care. Like I just don't care. Like I really just don't care. Do think it gives much more content. Yeah, as I was saying, pretty much. It's like I love how like Mad John is like the angel on my shoulder and Zozim's the devil. I love it. I'm fuck you, Angel Mad John. I'm going with me and Zozim. Tag up Zozim, okay? Me and you are at each other's throats for that art argument and in the fucking TV film music. We're dapping up today. We're dapping up today, okay?
But I do want to apologize for something in my previous video. For the most part, I stand by a lot of what I said there.
Addressing the allegations? Let's find out.
But one thing I did not do is take into account people with different priorities when it comes to playing video games. My problem with games is I don't have enough time. I don't need to buy any new games for quite a while. I have such a backlog of games that I already own that I haven't touched yet that I could probably go over a year without needing to buy anything. But for other people, time isn't the primary thing getting in the way of them playing games, it is money. And I was not considering that perspective.
Well, firstly, I just want to say, I'm glad that you did apologize. I'm glad you acknowledged your shortcomings. I do find it very strange that, like, that's something you forgot, considering if you were as broke as you're saying you were, you would have known that struggle your entire life. Like, I remember the only reason I bought Bing Bing Wahoo Mario games with my 1 or 2 games a year I was able to buy is because I knew I'd be able to, like, enjoy them, you know? Like, these were, like, guaranteed good bets, you know what I mean? Maybe every now and again I could ask my mom for a $5 and, like, buy something from the bargain bin. That's how I got, like, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, for example. Like, I didn't buy that full price. It's just, I convinced my mom, like, do some extra chores and give me a tenner, and then I bought that with, like, a tenner at the bargain bin, like, Blockbuster or something, right? So I'm, like, if you were really as broke as you say you were growing up, if you were living paycheck to paycheck as you said you were, you would have known that reality to the point where, like, I don't think you could ever forget it. Like, if you're asking me, I'm in a similar situation where I have a bit more money than I do time, and as a result, it's more so the time I get to play games than the price itself now. A bit more so. Like, obviously, I still can't afford, like, 7 full-price games a year, but, like, I could probably afford maybe, like, in my life now, could probably afford, like, maybe 3 or 4 new games a year. Like, full price, 60 quid games a year and I'll probably be okay, right? But even then, yeah, it's more so time. But I still remember those fucking, like, I remember where I came from. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember where I came from. like, how did you forget is what I'm trying to get at. Glad that you apologized. I'm not going to take that from him. But, like, I'm just like, if you were really as broke as you said, how did you forget that? You know? I don't think I could ever forget. I don't think it matters how rich I get. I don't think I'm literally ever going to forget going to, like, the 2 for £30 section on the Argos catalog and begging my mum to buy me 2 games, like just begging and begging and begging and begging. And I was like, oh, if you get like do good in these exams, I bet, like, honestly, like I would literally I don't know if you guys remember the Argos catalog, any of my UK bros, or if that's past your time, but like oh, you guys have like I'm sure in America you guys have an equivalent, right? But it's like big giant catalog of like from this like department store called Argos, and like all the stuff by the back pages was games, right? Like the games and consoles and stuff, right? I remember I would literally like circle the ones like, mum, please, 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 mum, please, 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 please. That's how I ended up getting Sonic Rush and what's it? Spyro Shadow Legacy for the Nintendo DS. Because both of those were in the I love Spyro as a kid, and I love Sonic, so I was like, please, mum, please, please, 2 for 30, mum, please, 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 please. You know what I mean? Like, I fucking remember that time, man. I remember I could close my eyes and literally go back to me like begging my mum for those 2 games, man. So I'm just like, and I got like again, I remember like literally getting Mario Strikers Charged for my birthday. Like, so I'm just like, again, glad that you apologized. I'm never gonna. I don't think any of us should take that from him. But again, if you were as broke as you said, you'd have these memories like really vivid in your head. But glad you apologized. We used to get Toys R Us catalogs; those kicked ass. I never had a Toys R Us anymore. I had an Argos. That was about like 30 minutes from my house. We take the bus. It was literally one long bus to the Argos, and it was fucking great. It was so good, honestly. I begged my mom for some scallions in the bargain bin. It was just cool looking at the game selection. Yeah, man, honestly. I went to Argos though. I remember back in the day, at least trying to go into my birthday and Christmas. The Argos catalog was peak childhood. Fucking hell. I'm glad you guys got to experience that too, because there was nothing more exciting than bringing back a new Argos catalog. Those things weighed a ton as well. Those things fucking weighed a ton, bro. But like, literally, my mom always told me every time I went to Argos, if I wanted the new one, the latest one that they released, I would have to carry it home. So my mom would be carrying all the like the heavy, like the bags and stuff. I would be like literally carrying it on 2 hands, this big Argos catalog. Oh man, I remember that. That was fun.
Maybe I'm just too used to the PC gamer thing of having that endless Steam library that you're never gonna get through. I forgot that that's not the experience of everybody who plays games. If I was in a situation where I couldn't get a Switch 2, then I'd go, oh well, I got plenty of other stuff to play instead. I mean, I do want to play Astrobot and the Demon's Souls remake on PS5, but I'm not buying a whole PS5 for 2 games. That is not worth it to me. But I'm also not broken up about that, because I could just play other stuff. At the same time, though, I also could not get a Switch 2, because...
I still remember how much we struggled, is why I don't ask my mom for much anymore. I feel like I deserve it. I don't feel like I deserve it anymore as an adult. I think that's the same degree of me as well. That like I don't ever ask my mom for. I genuinely get depressed when I have to ask my mom for money. Like there's been a couple times in my life where it was like the 20, like you know, like obviously we get paid monthly in the UK. Generally, that's the generally accepted format of pay. I know in the US it's like weekly is like a lot more common. But like, there were many instances in my life in like the last 5 years where around the 20th of each month, like I'm running on empty and I have to be like, Mum, please can I need like 30 quid, Mum. Okay, I can't afford groceries. You know what I mean? Like it's embarrassing. It really is. Right now, I'm more taking care of my mum than the reverse these days. But it's always a bit embarrassing, always a little bit. But hey, my mum earned it, you know, from giving me such a lovely childhood. You know, my mum has earned it. She's earned her retirement. Is what I'm trying to get at. Because I usually like me and all my siblings kind of. When we get paid, we give her a bit of money so she can live a bit comfortably, just a little bit. But
I could just play other stuff, but you know, I want to play those games, and other people want to play those games as well, and they can't afford to, and that is a serious bummer for sure. To me, if you're someone that can't afford Switch 2, then I say, just play other stuff. There's so many fantastic games out there. But I get it, so I am sorry to those who may have felt offended from my dismissive attitude in the last video.
Wow, emotional intelligence +1. Well done, Pariah. Well done.
Hopefully this one manages to claw back at least some of my goodwill that I lost there. I don't know, if you're still mad at me, I understand that too. If you're a longtime viewer of mine, then you're probably well aware that something I really need to work on is my tax. This is a problem I have so much in my real...
Yes, you absolutely need to work on your tax, brother. And part of that would help is the same thing I said to you last time with your Mario video. write some fucking notes, brother. Write some notes. Now, if you're wondering why don't I write some notes, Moresty? Because sometimes you could be tactless as well. Firstly, I do it because it's funny. But secondly, I can switch it on and off on a dime. I'm very, very capable of doing that. When you've been living in as a security guard or doing as a career as a security guard for like 10 years, you're very capable of switching it on and off when you need to. So I'm very, very experienced in this regard. You are not, Pariah. You need to learn the art. Sign up for Muscles University, guys, and then you can learn how to be tactful and tactless.
Life
switch on and off on a dime. I'm trying to grow as a person. I don't want to have to make this video, guys.
My thoughts exactly as they are, inconsiderate of other people's positions and thoughts on things.
Oh, literally, level 1 emotional intelligence. A bit of a shame it took you this grown-ass age to learn, but hey, he's learning. You're getting there. Well done, Pariah, well done.
I think people are too afraid to just tell it like it is, but that undeniably does get me into trouble sometimes, so maybe...
Well, okay, but here's the thing. The level 1 take is people are too scared to tell it how it is. I'm gonna be the one that tells it how it is. The level 2 take, which is where I'm at, chat, is while there are people who genuinely are afraid of rocking the boat, it usually comes with good reason, because generally, I think this is just a human nature thing. More people generally want to more work together than be adversarial. That's just like kind of a human nature thing. So even though you might brand it as some people being cowardly because they're not sticking it to the man, I think it's just inherent to a human nature to just like want to be cooperative and work together, right? So while I understand that you definitely do need those like boat rockers to like say it how it is, I think that you should probably have it, take a lesson in tact, grace, and decorum before you start having conversations about this sort of thing again. That's what I would tell you. Because I believe, of course I would say this, but I believe that I have done I've done enough introspection where I think I'm capable of doing this sort of thing, if I wanted to. Obviously today we're indulging in chicanery, so, obviously. But I think I'm a bit more capable of doing so. I think lessons in demure, exactly. I think I'm a bit more capable of. You can be Pariah someday, but work on it. I tell I was his code, but I'm an arsehole, I don't care. Exactly, that's where he used to be. But thankfully, hopefully, he can grow. Too little, too late. I disagree with this. I think if you carry this mindset, Lord Pengu, I think you're going to be a miserable person. I don't believe it's ever too late for someone to like start indulging in their emotional intelligence and like learning a bit more. I don't think it's ever too late. Is he maybe a bit too late to the party? Maybe, but I don't think it's too late. And I think we should give him the W for that. I think if he's learning, we should give him the W for that. It's been, out of the 40 minutes I've watched of you, it's definitely been far more cringe than based. But if this is a turning point for Pariah, best of luck to you, brother. Best of luck to you.
Maybe I'm the one that needs to pull it back a little bit.
Yes, you do.
And it's something I continue to try to work on. I
you
was
do.
seriously debating whether or not I should make that video because of the response that I was certain it would get. But I decided to do it anyway because I thought it would get good views because it's a big hot button issue. Not that what
capitalism. Just a capitalist, isn't it? Absolute capitalist. Oh, talk about the money, Spider-Man, the money. Capitalist Pariah, goddamn.
I said in that last video was clickbait, intentionally controversial, whatever. It is my actual thoughts, and that's what I do on this channel. I share my thoughts on things in the games world.
Take it from someone who also shares his thoughts for a bit of fun. Don't do it for a living, but I do make a decent chunk of change. Thank you so much, chat. Take it from someone who does do this as well. You have to approach it with more tact, grace, and decorum, my fella. You just do. And this is why I keep telling you to make notes, to write notes. I know when I'm tackling issues like this as well, sometimes beforehand, I'll read articles, I'll watch other videos, I'll gain a bit more of a clue as to what's going on, then I'll give my stance. Sometimes I'll give on the fly, and if I am giving takes on the fly, I am very good. I'm not going to say I feel like, because I know I am. I am very, very good at caveating with, guys, I'm not really familiar with this, or I'm just looking at this now, or so that people know that I'm not like refined in this topic, and you should probably seek out more knowledgeable people in this regard. This is my surface level take. I think you should definitely add a couple of those in there if you're going to be if you're going to continue doing the shtick. And as you've pointed out in your video, it's not what you say, but more of a chunk of the time the way you say it. Now, obviously, I say things very brazenly for the fun of it because it's really funny. But I know when I'm trying to be tactful and get points across, I'm very, very capable of, coming at it from a more emotionally mature perspective. And if that's a path you can get to, if you can get to the nirvana of emotional intelligence, Pariah, welcome to the Champions Club, brother. That's all I'll say to you.
But I don't know. Maybe I don't need to share my thoughts on everything, or at the
Oh my god. I clapped. Yes. Yes. Sometimes it's okay to just shut up. Even I do this too. Even I, chat, do you see me talking about every topic? Sometimes a topic comes up and I'm just like, and I move on because I genuinely have nothing to say. So sometimes, true, genuinely, I'm glad that you've learned this, Briar. Again, a little later than you probably should have, but I'm glad you've learned this. Sometimes you can just go, that's a bit weird. Well, anyway, and then just move on. You know, maybe generally what I do when it comes to topics where I don't think I could give like a refined enough take in a live stream, I talk with my fiance about it. I talk with my friends about it. It's like, yeah, I found out this thing. It's like, I can't make heads or tails of it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I sometimes do that with my, so like I can kind of get my thoughts out there. So I can get my thoughts, like the thoughts are bubbling up in me. I can get it out there, but also not have a moment of dumb fuckery, so to speak, you know?
At the very least, I definitely need to do a better job of how I present my thoughts. Like I was saying before, the way you share information affects people's reaction to it.
Yes.
Made it to the end of this video.
Yes.
Thanks for hearing me out on this. I do really, genuinely appreciate the community I have, and I don't want to do bad by you guys.
Then do better.
This is far
do better,
from my
Pariah.
first screw up on this channel.
You
and
should do
now,
better,
going
brother.
Forward, I'm gonna really seriously think about how I handle things from now on. So
True.
hopefully
Okay. Good. Good.
That stuff like this doesn't happen again.
All right, Pariah. I always say I'll put him on. Should we give him a year, chat? You know, we'll check back in. 14th of April 2026. If I'm still here by then, I don't know, maybe I'll go grab some milk at some point. If I'm still doing this a year from now, chap, we'll check in on Pariah and see what he's up to. How about that? How does that sound, huh? All the best to you, brother. All the best to you. I'll check back in on him in a year and see if he really has practiced what he preached or if he's just blowing smoke up my ass. We'll find out later. He's finally evolving from he's from Sonic Teamer to normal person. Best of luck to you, man. As frustrated as I got, and I think rightfully so, because your takes were god awful. I think that at the very end, if you genuinely have had this if this video was you having a sobering moment on sometimes you don't need to say your takes all the time, sometimes you just need to approach it with more grace, sometimes you need to have like a bit more emotional intelligence about it, best of luck to you. I hope you practice what you preach, and good luck to you, for my fella. Good fucking luck. That's all I'll say to you. Goodbye for now. I'll check back in on you in a year, all right? I will watch your chicanery with great interest. And where's my tab gone? Where's my music tab gone? Oh, my music tab's dead. Oh, no. Give me a second while I find my music. What do you think, chat? What do you think about that? You can get off the blacklist, I believe in. Oh, shit, the comments. I forgot about the comments, chat. My bad. Sorry. Oh, no, sorry. Most people don't like that bit, so I don't want to do any more, chat. I don't want to do any more. Most of you guys hate that part. Oh, it's on the same tab as Pariah as well. My bad. Okay. Brother 6? Let's go. I pressed the button on the soundboard? No? Oh, there we go. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Let's see what his community thought. Not surprised as a follow-up video. True! I'm not surprised neither. Let the man pay his bills. I got an ad blocker, Pariah. Okay, suck it, nerd. Watch both videos. I want to put some comments on my perspective. Apologies for the essays. At least... Okay, we'll read some of this. I don't know. I probably won't read all of this, but at least you paragraphed it. My pet peeve is when people like just do one long chunk of text. So like, we'll read some of the paragraphs, I guess. Bible. It'd be nice. Listen, they at least gave me line breaks. I like it. If you're gonna write an essay in my comments, at least give me some line breaks. I think the big issue is video games for a while were mass culture in the same way mooks and movies are. Books and movies are. In there, be nice, okay? Come on. With mooks or movies are. That is to say, accessible to the average everyday person. True, yeah. Like, even though technically you can say games are a luxury, since they've become so accessible, I don't think that you can really like colloquially classify them as such. Does that make sense? I think it just doesn't make sense. Well, technically you might be true. Okay, chat, stop. Okay, I'm closing chat. You guys are being too funny. I'm closing chat. I want to read this. Shut up. I'm closing. You guys are blacklisted for 5 minutes. Okay, let me fucking read. East America, you see many other countries that, where this is not true, but many of those markets end up with bootleg and piracy so normalized that, again, the effect was for games to become mass culture in a way, the more that enthusiast hobbies like board games, playing an instrument as well. Yeah, exactly. Isn't it true that, like, I don't know if anyone's from, like, generally from what I've heard, like people in like South America, people in like Africa and like Eastern Europe, because like video game prices are so much higher, like to the point where they are still, you could classify them as general luxuries, more so in that luxury tier, like games were like maybe like in the 90s and stuff. Piracy is very, very rampant down there, you know what I mean? So like, if anything, you want to keep the prices relatively affordable so that piracy doesn't become as rampant, you know? They're gradually transitioning from that into a multi-tiered system where the rich enthusiasts are milked for increasingly unaffordable premium products that even if you're the most hardened pirate on the planet require expensive hardware to run, and poor fans have been exploited by increasingly predatory monetization schemes in the free games they have access to. True. People are understandably not happy about this. It's not just a price increase, but what the price increase represents. At one point, essentially everyone played Zelda, but soon that won't be the case. The better off will play Zelda, and the poor will play a game ship on an FTP track. But gamers often like the language to complain about why beyond the immediate consumer effects. True, honestly true. Who is this person? Heads fall off, they're truing. They're truing so hard right now, honestly. And that's why Steam destroys almost... Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm so happy for Steam. I'm so glad we have Steam, honestly. I'm so happy. In South America, games are more of a luxury. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why like piracies come. We don't want that to be the case here, do we? So that's why games should be affordable to the average common man, or at least in some way, you know what I mean? The issue is obviously, as you say in the video, capitalism back. I clapped, gamers, I clapped. I think your initial video is ultimately just describing capitalist dynamic as a matter of factly from the perspective of the market, which can be pretty condescending to people. And I assume that's why so much of this follow-up incident included context from a worker perspective of wage stagnation and the prices of necessities is a welcome addition. And while I know angry commenters are coming back to watch follow-ups is rare, it's appreciated at least. True, yeah, honestly, that was the biggest issue. Like if I'm going to talk about the Switch price and why like maybe they're justified, I was going to like run a bit of defense. I'd also make it clear that, hey guys, I'm on a view. I can't stand this shit. Are you kidding me? Like £75? Is that the new standard price for video games? I'd have to put that shit on my Argos card, lads. That's unreal. I used to be able to afford games outright, or at least relatively speaking outright. Like, that might not be the case anymore. That's insane, bro. That's insanity. But I'll leave the essay there. I appreciate your channel price, specifically because you'll try basically whatever. Old, new, free or play, modern, vanilla, and treat all games that are in a very straightforward way rather than through a nostalgic or retro lens. Using platforms as an example, blah, 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 blah. Hey, either way, at least you got one fan. Hey, listen, I'm glad you hearted this comment. This fan is speaking facts. Listen to this fan. Listen to this fan. This fan speaks facts. I think many people in your fan base who watch all of your stuff is because how direct you are and the way you articulate your thoughts. So I appreciate how emotionally mature you are and willing to seek correction. Thanks for being so real in this video. I think the initial video definitely lacked a bit of emotional intelligence that this video definitely tried to enunciate a bit more of. But yeah, the initial video was definitely very tactless. Mature, but yeah, listen, I'll give him his I'll give him his plaudits. If he's willing to change his ways, then good stuff. Didn't want to get political in the channel, but wage that having it. Yeah, the game is politics mentioned. Downvote. I'm downvoting. One thing I always like is that you actually admit when you're at fault, but also when you say something you believe in, you stick to it regardless of the naysayers. I don't think that's a value that should be lauded, if I'm being honest. I don't think that's a value that should be lauded. Like, for me, I'll stick to an opinion, not because the naysayers are going crazy at me, but because I know that I've done the analytical approach to forming my opinion, and that's why I'm convinced of my fact. Not because people are disagreeing with me, but it's like more, I have done the mental rigmarole of coming to my take, and that's it, you know? So I don't think this mindset is necessarily good, neither. Downvote. I'm disappointed to see knee-jerk comments that obviously made people who didn't see this see the video. I'm seeing such comments not just on the previous video, but this one as well. It's kind of ridiculous. People online. Yeah, people will do that. I can literally go on any of one of my Moresty VODs that got a bit more views than they normally would, and yeah, there's probably some comments going. In fact, actually, chat, I can literally prove that happened. Chat, if you're a bit of a if we're doing a bit of a drama Monday, chat, a bit of a drama Monday update. Hang on. Listen, this is a comment that I deleted from my my Undertale video, chat. Someone called Shy Guy Mask with a verified checkmark, verified account, chat. 287k subscribers. You're probably thinking, how do I know that? Because he embarrassingly flexed that to me, gamers. He embarrassingly flexed that to me. Well, I was like, for your sake, I need to delete this comment. This is embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Genuinely the most embarrassing comment I've ever gotten in my live chat. Actually unreal behavior. I deleted it for his sake. Honestly. Embarrassing. That's what I'll tell you. That genuinely is a your goat washed moment, all right? Honestly. I did leave him with a snarky reply before I deleted the comment as well, but listen, actually unreal behavior. Honestly, unreal behavior. I know. Let's continue with this. Whose goat is that? Yeah, no. So what's it? Hang on, chat, hang on. Do you know the funny part is? I told this to my fiance. Like, I told some guy named Shy Guy Moss left a terrible comment, verified checky. Do you know what she said, guys? First this lonely Goomba who has, like, beef with you. And then this fucking Shy Guy Moss. Oh, all the Mario enemies? Like, what's going on? Am I canonically Mario, chat? Who's gonna come after me next? Fucking Koopa fan 62? What's happening right now? Why all the Mario? What the fuck? Why is all of Bowser's Koopa Troop army coming after me? What's happening here? The Sir Mario Steve, maybe. The cat, no, not the Quacks. Bowser dude next. Bowser dude, we got beef. We got beef, all right? I know. That was just kind of a funny little tangent anyway. But yeah, like, that, my overall point of showing that comment was that, yeah, people are just going to do that to you. Yeah, people are just going to do that. That's just what happens. I get comments like that too. I wasn't expecting it from a big channel. Usually when it's a shitter default down, I just delete them and move on. But bit sad when it's a checky, you know what I mean? When did you get into beef for Lonely Goomba? I think it's literally just, I said beef, it's in quotes. I think in a Demeech comment section, I saw him say, this Sir Musty guy's obsessed with you. So canonically, he knows about me and he doesn't like me. That's the drama. That's where it starts and ends, really. I know. Make your predictions, chat. Who's gonna Fishbone 667? No way. Fucking Fishbone 667. But yeah, this whole thing will just happen, bro. Like, what do you mean? I still believe in the value of level-headed discussion, so it's a little irksome to see anger addicts trying the hardest to pick a fight. Life's too short for that energy in my book. You're not wrong, but Pariah's video was just shit. His initial video was just really shit. Like, I champion more level-headed discussion too. Like, I love looking for the nuance, the level 2 take, as to put it in musty language. But yeah, like, he was just tactless in that video. It was terrible. Genuinely terrible. It's what being Twitter brain does to a lot of people, sadly. Get out of here. Watch out for Claptrap Lover. Rocky Range 87? Good lord, I gotta be careful, Rocky Range 87. Musty, please don't get controversial when you get a check. Me as soon as I hit 100k. Oh, gamers. Do you guys want to meet up on Discord? Whoa. The comments on the last video are truly bizarre to me, primarily due to the complete inability to demonstrate the understanding of what was said. No, people were rightfully upset. People were rightfully upset. No, that's how it goes. People's failure to separate concepts of explanation and defense of one another is very alarming. It's a basic skill of rationality is needed necessary to enact change. Again, yes. Firstly, expecting rationale from the internet is insane. Secondly, even as someone who's probably more willing to like hear him out, you came out with zero tact. It literally just felt like you were doing backflips on it. While I can understand the value in being a bit more of a level-headed consumer and actually giving facts, you did it in a very tactless way. That's what I would say. Bookie Spooky 800, good lord. The XXX underscore the buzzing underscore beetle underscore XXX. Is he gonna make a sniping montage about me? Your point about the root cause is one that can only be extrapolated when you examine Nintendo's decision-making from an objective point of view and deduce the motivating factors. Shutting down such conversations as corporate shilling is woefully unproductive and actively benefits the corrupt system at the heart of it by leaving the door open for infighting and targeting of symptoms rather than the cause. Yes, which is why when people say that and people like me watch your video, you should be able to stand on business. So for example, hang on, it's literally happened to me, chat. Someone in my Reacts YouTube will submit a video and go, Musty, this video was like, oh, the chicanery, Musty, can you believe this? Can you believe where he ranked Moo Moo Meadows? And then I watch the video and it's like, okay, let's see where he ranked Moo Meadows. He put it in D, that's crazy. What was his reasoning? Insert logical reasoning here. Why did you guys get angry about this? What the fuck is wrong with you? You guys idiots? He gave, like the take is crazy, or the placing is crazy, but his reasoning was sound. So yeah, it happens to me as well. Like, what you want is that when the people that are gonna get mad at you finally disappear and the smoke clears, you want to be the person who gets to stand on business and be like, hey, my take was correct. You want to be like the why are you booing me, I'm right, basically. If when people are booing you and you're wrong, then you just lost twice. People are booing you, and then when people then analyze your take for what it is, you're wrong. You see what I mean? Like, you lost on both fronts. Like, I know when people like stop booing me, I'm right. I'm right. I'm right, because I am right. and left at the same time, you know? I didn't find anything you said in your videos objectionable anywhere. You didn't watch the video then. You probably had it on the background while you were playing Fortnite. Monty Mole 402. Podo Boo Productions. Hey! I think it's pretty. I think it was a pretty reasonable. No, it wasn't. It was like Gluck 5000, brother. It was not reasonable in the slightest. Nope. Not loaded by any means, but get mad at Nintendo spamming comment sections about as useful as getting mad at the weather for not being sunny. No, by protesting, you can enact change. Is there more cringe and less cringe ways of doing it? Yes. But by talking about it, you get to enact cringe. You get to enact cringe and enact change, potentially. People just want to be mad and not actually find solutions to problems. Yeah, people are mad, and it should be people like Pariah and people like me and people who want to talk about this in a more level-headed way to direct people to the correct source of the madness, right? It's like with the game keycards thing. That's why I want to make a standalone video on the game keycards thing. I'm going to expect that to be up relatively soon. I'm at least going to record it today, and like, because I finished writing the notes, I'm going to record it today and then upload it at some point soonish. Because like, yeah, there's a lot of fervor about it, but I think people are getting the takes wrong. You know what I mean? And I want to be able to be like, yeah, there's reasons why the game keycards thing is shitty, but here's the reasons you should be complaining about, and here's the reasons you should give them props for. You know? The problem isn't capitalism in the first place, it's corporatism. When companies, capitalism, he said capitalism, outvote. The whole world is using its mind over a video game console. I'm just sitting in the corner enjoying the discussions. No one cares, nerd. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares. Right, no one's disagreeing there are bigger problems on the horizon. It doesn't mean we can't talk about the problems. Real? Hang on, go. Emerald. How is Emerald Blade 98 realizing that we could talk about two things at the same time? I clapped. I clapped. Gamers, I clapped when Emerald Blade 98 said this. Oh my god, hashtag real. He's so real for this. Unbelievable. We could talk about the economic and political state of the world right now, Jaden Smith style, and we could talk about why the Switch 2 prices are bad. Emerald Base 98? The problem, this is a problem for the gaming community. Why wouldn't gamers want to talk about a global issue they know exists? Hang on. Why would gamers want to talk about a global issue they know exists? It's just redundant at that point. And that problem isn't as controllable as this one. It is unlikely, but if enough people are against Nintendo, the price are going to go down. You could even argue that focusing on the political aspect of tariffs is pointless because we have no power as individuals, but we do have power over a company charging too much. Yeah, exactly. I just don't get the logic. I don't get that logic. It's like this. Imagine your family hasn't eaten in one day and you're like, wow, we're already hungry. We need food. Then someone shows up and is like, well, other people have it. I said the same thing. I clapped. I clapped. I clapped. I said the same thing. I said the same thing. Oh, kids in Africa. I literally used the same example in my last video. I clapped. Gamers, I clapped. I clapped when Emerald Base 98 said the same thing as me. It's my opinion, but in his text. Yes, they're correct, but it doesn't mean it isn't a problem. I think the point I'm making is that just because there are bigger problems, it doesn't mean that problems in our community can't be talked about when it literally is a problem, regardless of how you feel about the elephant in the room, tariffs that everyone is aware of. Real. So fucking real. Unbelievably real. Yeah, if we're silent about why we're not buying something, how the fuck people get the message? Yeah, it's true. Vote with your wallet and your mouth. We can do both. Like, I think vote with your wallet, if you genuinely believe the Switch 2 prices are, like, out of order, don't buy it. Fantastic. But kick up a fuss, too. I encourage both. I encourage kick up a fuss. Like, listen, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And I mean that in a literal sense. This is genuinely more taking off the mask. This is more advice from me, Mustafa. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, chat. If you sit there and shoulder the burdens of your problem at your workplace and your relationship, no one gives a shit. People give a shit about what they know. All right? When I tell my manager, hey, I'm having an issue here, right? The issue doesn't get solved unless I kick up a fuss and be like, hey, motherfucker, you put me on this site and you haven't given me a tour. I don't know where the fire escapes are. What happens if there's a fire? I kicked up a fuss, and guess what? I got a tour of the building. That doesn't happen unless I kick up a fuss. You know? Amazing. Amazing. That's how it works. You have to yell. Sometimes you do have to yell about stuff, chat. Sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes you have to sit down and shut up, okay? But sometimes, kick up a fuss. 100%. And that goes for life in general, honestly. So for me, I'm not mad when the internet gets mad at stuff. The internet's always going to be mad at stuff. But, like, I'm mad more, like, if the direction isn't focused. That's what, and I think that, I wouldn't say it's my job, but what I want to do is direct people in the right avenue, you know? Prior apology arc. Real. Keep it on. You fucked up, you owned it. Yeah, true. Honestly, good on him. I don't think people overreacted to the last video en masse, but I don't see why you think it's reasonable pushing the boundaries on price of games so much. The issue is being shared is literally so much that it literally got into national news here. Because paychecks aren't increasing, it's unreasonable to have an argument between a game or weekly groceries. It's just an added problem to many issues. Yeah, true. Real. All the replies to Emerald. Hang on, let's have a look, actually. You just compared to hunger to video games. Try again. Oh, for fuck. Gluck. Oh, he's a hang on. Is he? Oh, he's a member. Oh, my lords. He's a member as well. Guys, I want to be honest. I love the members of my community. The Knights, the Royal Guards, the Wizards, Shadow Wizard Money Gang. I love all of you guys. The fact that you're willing to part your ways with your hard-earned money, for me, is genuinely extremely humbling. And I mean that with every fiber of my being. Please don't be cringe in my comments, chat. Please don't be cringe. Please don't be cringe. Please don't be cringe, guys. Please. I'm begging you, please. Listen, I know the So Musty fan base is going to become cringe eventually. But we're only at 8K, okay? We can't be cringe yet. At least when we get to 100K and I get my play button, you know, then we can start being cringe. Then we can start going, where are the cars? To random people's tweets and annoying the internet as a whole, okay? Then we can start being cringe. But now let's be based, okay? Let's be based for now, all right? We're not cringe yet, okay, guys? It happens to every fan base. It'll happen to mine as well. I'm not better than anyone. But I'm going to keep it not cringe as long as I possibly... At least let's get to 10K before we consider being a bit cringe, you know what I mean? Then we're going to tweet at random accounts. Guys, Musty's really underrated. Musty's really underrated, guys. He's really underrated. Everything you say is fundamentally flawed. Like, you could go to someone using the phrase fundamentally flawed, like, you know, just like, as a normal phrase it is, and be like, so Musty reference, so Musty reference. Like, no, it's just a general phrase. So Musty reference. But here's the thing. We do have power in these situations individual. I'm not saying how, but you know what I mean. And video games are not food, bro. Video games are not necessarily for you to live, man. So it makes sense to downplay the problems in a video game community compared to real problems going on, especially right now. Guys, you can already complain. Guys, if you complained about the Switch 2, people are hungry. Okay? People are hungry. Exactly. Gluck 5000. Good lord. No, I didn't make the analogy. I very much clarified what I meant in the next sentence. You're being disingenuous when you know I'm right. And if you didn't get it, I don't know what to tell. Real? For real? He's just one take away from being a member. You said you don't get the logic, then use food. And that's how you see the logic. I'm not arguing that. I'm just telling you using food as an argument is wrong. Now kindly try again. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I would delete this. Just like it's to save Lonely Some the trouble. I would delete this. Just to save in the same way I saved Shy Guy Mask by deleting his cringe comment, which I'll show you guys again. A guy with 287K flexing on me, and I deleted it just to save him the embarrassment. That was embarrassing. Pariah, genuinely, you need to delete this comment. This is embarrassing, okay? To save Mr. Lonely Some, you have to delete this comment. Oh, man. Good lord. I'll read some more. I don't want to read the whole comment chain, but I never used food as an argument. Emerald Blade, I think you're... I understand why you want to clarify yourself, but man, this guy is like a fucking brick wall, lad. I never made the comparison. It's very clear by reading my comment. You just got offended by something that wasn't even offensive because you saw a buzzword to latch onto and strawman me. I'm not arguing with you because I am correct. Real and true. Oh my god, even Super Saiyan 34XX, no, 34. Oh my lords. Guys, what's happening here? Emerald Blade is in the trenches. He's fighting off all the Yamchas. Oh no, I can't believe this. Oh my lords. I'm not arguing with you because I'm correct, or I'm not arguing with you because I'm correct. It's just a thing I wanted to put out there. Anyway, Pariah is almost right in this regard. If a company doesn't listen to its fans, ignoring the bigger problems of the world will lead to bankruptcy, and I guarantee because inflation doesn't disappear when it... Oh boy, oh good lord. Oh good lord, gamers. Oh no. Oh no. No. Emerald Blade, but you know what? In solidarity, I'm just gonna like all of Emerald Blade's comments, okay? He needs to win the ratio war. He needs to win the ratio war, chat, okay? I would say to him he should stop being in the trenches so hard, but you know what? I'm outvoting his comments in solidarity. I'm outvoting all your comments in solidarity, brother. Did I get all of them? I'm getting all of them, okay? I'm getting all of them. He needs to win this war. There is a war being waged and he needs to win. He's winning a 3v1, chat. He's winning a 3v1. Unreal behavior. Poor guy. Poor guy. Also, just to make it clear, chat, the same policy always still applies, okay? Do not leave nasty comments. We know this rule. Just want to reiterate once more. Do not leave nasty comments on the videos, okay? If you want to be a little, you know, be a little sassy in my chat, it's okay. Do not leave nasty comments, okay? I want to make that very clear again. I'm sending him a supply drop. If you want to leave his comments alike, that's fair. But again, if you're going to leave a comment yourself, be nice and respectful, chat, okay? Come on now. You know the rules. You leave nasty comments on your own videos. Listen, if they're within the acceptable Sir Musty range.
Victims of the sunk cost fallacy.
Always the patrons, bro. If I'm talking about from a content creator perspective, of course the people that are willing to give you the most money are the people that like are your strongest soldiers, quote unquote. What you would like to hope is that your strongest soldiers also are as switched on to like discourse and like how to interact, but like most people aren't. Like most people who just interact with comments aren't aware of how silly they can come across when they make bad comparisons. I mean, they're not as what am I trying to say? They're not as like well versed in like making argumentation and like presenting their points very well. Like if you wanted to convince someone you were right, like I think the comparison I make, chat, is you know how like I would say in the 2010s there was definitely a rise of like they're about as good as Pariah in this aspect. Fucking got him. But yeah, like most people in the comments aren't going to be as well versed in like discourse as like you are. Does that make sense? Like it's just never going to happen. What you're hoping is that they don't embarrass themselves like where is it? Oh, it's down below, isn't it? Yeah, they don't embarrass themselves like these guys do. You know what I mean? If I caught one of my members like being this a bit silly, I'd probably have to like, I'd pull you out of there. We're extracting. I'm pulling you out of there, Chief. No, we gotta get some soldiers back out there. I'm pulling you out. Evac is in 5 minutes. Get in there. Go. Royal Guard, retreat. You know? That's what I would do. I'd pull you guys out of there, okay, whether you wanted to or not. Oh, man, anyway. This is what the first video needed more of. Price spitting the cost of land. Very good follow. Yeah, exactly. If there was more of this in your first video, it probably would have been better, honestly. Yeah, I agree. Man just saved his PR with one paragraph. He actually did. That ending paragraph was actually very, very good. Again, I'll give him props for that. I always will. The only people commenting on the last video was hilarious. Easily the greatest thing you've ever done. Well, Pariah doesn't think so. If anything, downvote. It's like I feel the same way about this comment when like, you know when people saw my backseat Sakurai follow-up, like the Cope livestream reaction, and people were like, oh my god, the sequel to the best Musty video ever made. I'm just kind of like, the best video I've ever done, really? Really? Just me dunking on a guy? I get it, it's fun, but my best video? Man, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't know, man. I put a lot of effort into that 96 try rank, and I don't know, man. I don't know. Man! But I get it. A little bit of drama is a little fun, you know? Because of the terrorists. Damn, didn't realize that video pissed off so much people, lol. I thought the points were a bit reasonable. You didn't listen then. I'm telling you, you didn't use your brain box. You didn't use your brain box, lads. Not saying I agree with them. I personally don't plan on getting one because I don't enjoy a lot of modern Nintendo stuff, so the price doesn't really affect me. Well, thanks, some nerd. Strongest Moresty video as the weakest Moresty video. True. I'm seeing some comments. I didn't expect it. Sam likes to mash. What do you like to mash, brother? Well, is that Cammy from Street Fighter? But like a marketable plush? At least I hope it's a marketable plush. Good lord. Oh, Emerald, hang on, Emerald is back! Oh my god, Emerald Base 98 is back, gamers, and better than ever? Whew, hang on. So we were mad at you. However, a lot of us were stating your rationale and logic make no sense. True! People made good points, so you should focus, so your focus shouldn't be only the people who insulted you. As a matter of fact, the top like comments where people will come bang your logic. Regardless, I want to say I don't hate you. I enjoy your stuff, I just don't agree with you, which is fine. Also, Nintendo is definitely the problem. LOL. I clapped, games. I clapped when I saw Emerald Based 98 again. How does Pariah respond? Oh, fuck. Gamers, I might have to censor this live stream, chat. There is a lot of sexual content in this live stream. There's a lot. There's too much. There's too much. There's too much, gamers. There's too much. The technique is... I'll admit, what's it? What's his name? Oh, fuck, what's his name? I didn't even see... Where's the comment gone? No, where'd the comment go? No, where'd the comment go? I have to scroll back down. I scored a bit too high. I don't know. I do have to admit, Lonely Sum, your technique is definitely remarkable. It's remarkable, honestly. I didn't realize you could use two hands, personally, but you know what I mean? Lonely Sum. Hey, listen, you're teaching the ladies and the men out there, you know, new techniques. Good stuff. What's it? He didn't talk about the ones combatant because he didn't want to debate about it much, but if he answered a few if he answered a few, that would cause more problems for him. Well, yeah, well, in all fairness, I actually agree. Like, I think one thing I champion is, I don't think you should generally... Shut up. Sometimes I have to close chat because you guys are too funny. I usually champion not getting into it in the comments and making your video stand on its own toes. So I do actually kind of agree with that. I do agree that, like, yeah, I don't think you should be debating I don't think you should be in the trenches too much. Maybe make 1 or 2 comments clarifying and just kind of move on and make another video if you need to clarify things. Yeah, I agree to a degree. Yeah, so do I. I just think his logic didn't make too much sense. He kind of painted a picture that people were just hating on him and insulting him, which just wasn't true. Yeah, some people were, but a lot were making very valid points, including me in my other stream. I made fun of him, but I also made some valid points. And again, this is coming from someone who enjoys watching his stuff. I have no problem with the guy. He's just in the wrong right now. But I'm not a psychopath or lol. Everyone's going to be wrong sometimes. In fact, Jesus, what guy? Hey, yo, can I have more fans like Emerald? Chat, you should be more like, I'm going to compare you guys. I'm going to do the thing that every kid hates it when their parents do. You should be more like that other kid over there, that straight A student. You guys should be more like Emerald Based 98, okay? You guys are cringe and skibbity. You should be based and red-pilled like him, okay? Come on. People disagree with my logic and rationale is fine. I have no issues with that. The videos to explain why I'm not angry about the prices. Yeah, sure. I feel you on that. Everyone's going to pay what they're willing to pay. These prices still do nothing but hurt us as consumers. When Nintendo is at all the consoles products, really give us the least out of all of them. They have no grounds to be doing this. Just real. Actually real.
Emerald Blade 98 protected at all costs.
Actually true, honestly. All the best. Listen, all the best to him, okay? All the best. Well, I am Emerald Based 98 strongest soldier now. I yap all the time. What do you mean? Listen, the Castform, you're one of the good ones, Castform, okay? Bet you've heard that a lot, eh? Bet you've heard that a lot. Well, the Switch 2 games are going to sell gangbusters, and other companies will start charging $80 for their games. The point is not that they are evil, but that when you choose to support them, you are handing the entire industry the go-ahead to charge $80 when they're released, when 70 just got standard. Again, that was my issue too. That was my issue as well, chat. Is that, like, if we're going by American standards, for the longest time, $60 was the price. Then we recently, with the start of the PS5 and Xbox Series, it went up to 70. And now Nintendo, again, Nintendo, the company that I least want to push the boundaries, are going to be the ones to make it 80. That is the issue. Thank Mega Mike 1440, 144p? Good stuff. I was at 1444p. I don't know why I added an extra 4. But see, I like it. I like it. I'm glad that he figured this out. Games will be 90 soon after, and by the time between price increases, will get smaller and smaller. It's not unreasonable for people to get upset that people like you are going to support it anyway. You said you're going to sell a bunch of stuff on eBay just to buy the Switch 2. You obviously don't make enough money, but you're going to go for it anyway. We both know FOMO is the only reason. I don't believe for a second you're going to shell out 500 bones just because you have to play a small amount of games they have. For me, it's just because I could. For me, it's not necessarily a FOMO thing. But it's more, I had the money. I know he's not talking about me, obviously. I'm defending myself out of nowhere. For me, again, my thing was, I worked a lot in March, was able to dip into my savings a tiny bit, even though I hate doing that. I was able to afford it, you know what I mean? Also, you know, I did want to be able to play the new Mario Kart for you guys. I'm excited for it, but also, ruthless businessman. There was a little bit of a degree of that, but mostly it was just I had the money and I was available to, you know? It's the same reason I got the PS5, you know? The PS5, I literally saw that it was available and I was like, oh shit, okay, let me get it. Big wig must get big wig. It's because all of you it's because of all the memberships and the donors. You guys are ego feeding me, okay? That's what you guys are doing. It's all your fault, all right? Oh, I missed it when Musty was humble. You guys keep donating to me. Ooh. I always appreciate it, of course. Judging by what you said, I probably make a decent amount of more money than you. I could buy a Switch 2 without making any other sacrifice. I refuse to support these businesses. Real! Good! I'm glad that somebody on principle is standing on business. I'm glad. Thank you so much, Mega Mike. That's good. I'm happy for you. Nintendo does not need to charge $80 for games. I think you should not be spending $80 in the game, especially considering you don't have a lot of money. True! It's the reason why I did not buy 3D All-Stars. I could afford to buy Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I am against, on principle, them making a timed exclusive game when there's no need for it. With Super Mario Bros. 35, maybe you could argue that, hey, like, that game kind of lives and dies off its player base. In 6 months, the player base is going to taper off. We don't really want to support it anymore. Its natural life came to an end. We give it a 6 month, 6 month lifespan or whatever, and we're just going to sunset. I'm like, shitty that you did that, but I'm like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. With a full-priced physical release, there is literally zero reason for you to time gate this other than FOMO. And I didn't want to buy it. I didn't want to support it. So I like that this guy is also standing on principle. He could afford a Switch 2 and doesn't want to. Definitely. Good on him. Fantastic. Nintendo Switch 2 is $450. The Surmisty membership is $2. Make the right choice, gamers. Make the right choice. Join the Musquai Empire today, okay? I'm gonna start doing more members-only content, chat. I was gonna actually make a post about that. I was gonna make like I think the issue with members-only content is I don't even know what I want to talk about half the time. But I was gonna make like a members-only post saying, hey, if there's anything you guys want me to yap about, if there's any thoughts of mine that you want me to elaborate on in a members-only video, let me know. So I'm gonna put that thread up. I'm gonna put that post up after the stream, and I'll start recording some exclusive content for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna start doing it. Okay, so you can get more bang for your buck. Again, I make lots of money. I'm choosing not to give anything anyway. Not having necessity, out of principle. I literally went the very next day and spent nearly $1,000 on PC upgrades after seeing the bullshit Nintendo's pulling. Good on you. Good on you, honestly. The last part is cringe. I mean, it's a little cringe, but like, again, I like the fact that on principle, he's standing on 2 toes. You know what I mean? I'm happy. I'm happy for him. If he can afford it, then if you can afford it, but doesn't want justified. Thank you. It's like, yeah, a justified glow. You know, I'm okay. I'm a bit more okay with this. Just console yourself and exercise some impulse control. What does Pariah respond? And look, I'm not mad at you. Okay, so he's not mad at him. I'm just disappointed to hear that there's people out there who are struggling and are so down bad for Nintendo that will give up possessions, even sacrifice to socialize. They can tell Nintendo, yes, please raise the games. We'll buy them for you no matter. We can't resist. Mostly my wife left me any advice. Delete Facebook, hit the gym, lawyer up. Not everyone who criticizes you is angry. There are more negative emotions than just rage. I hope your finances look up soon. It took me many years, a degree, and some good friends to get the position I am at today. And I just hate when people waste money on things like this. It hurts my soul. Thank you so much, Gio. I appreciate that, man. Hey, man, listen. If you want some more member stuff, let me know. Oh shit, fuck. Let me know what you want to see, okay? Again, I'll put the thread up after the stream. Thank you so much, Gio. How you doing, man? You doing good? Yeah, companies will start charging more for games. That is inevitable. I suppose someone has to go first. Like I said, if something is worth what people are willing to pay for it, if people are willing to pay $80, then of course others will take notice. I see what you mean. If you are willing to pay for it, it will start off a price hike. But we can't control the actions of others. Either it will succeed or not. My individual purchase will not make a difference. Besides, I'm not actually buying $80 games. I'm getting the bundle. Yeah, but like I'm not against the idea of people in principle like rallying against that. Like again, I hate. Do you know what I hate, chat? I hate even if you're right. Even if, say for example, you looked me in the eyes and said, any protest you do is going to be useless. I've seen the future. I'm Doctor Strange. I've seen the future. It is literally going to have zero difference. I hate the idea of putting people off in principle of protest. Like that's just something I cannot agree with. Like, I can never agree with. I think protests, like in working class solidarity, chat, I genuinely think protest is one of the things that we have as like the working class, right? The proletariat against the bourgeoisie or some shit like that. But like I believe in the power of protest in principle, even if you can look me in the eye and tell me that it's not gonna work, right? I love it. I love that shit. It's one of the things that I like Western society should champion. There are countries out there in the world that literally do not get to do this. You know, it's one of the best rights we have in a lot of Western countries that we get to say, fuck you, I am gonna kick up a stink and a fuss about this. Even if it leads to nothing, I'm okay with it. And all of you guys should be too. Yes, predominantly, I think the best way to protest is voting with your wallet. But if someone wants to kick up a fuss on their, like, 4-follower Twitter account, fucking go for it, man. Do it. And yes, sometimes it can be a bit cringe in the case of the drop the price Nintendo Treehouse thing. Sometimes. But in principle, do it. Kick up a fuss. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. Let them know.
My retort is that Sisyphus died happy.
Thank you so much for the 2, man. Oh, we got to keep going with the music, don't we? A third Bravo 6 has hit the stream. And don't you dare accuse me of FOMO. I'm immune to that shit. Are you really? I don't know. Doth protest too much? I'm always behind on new release. I didn't buy Tears of the Kingdom until it was on sale way after release. You found it on sale? Lucky you. I still haven't played it partially because I'm waiting for a better Switch. I appreciate the concern, but part of the reason the channel has been slow lately is because I'm working on other things that will up my income soon. And as I said, I'm not selling stuff because of the Switch 2. A giant pile of stuff to sell forever. I mean, yeah, fair enough, I suppose. Yeah, decent retort, but I'm just like, TOC, I know, that's what happens. TOC came out on sale? But yeah, like it's just if you like I kind of see what this guy's getting at in principle. Like if you have to sell shit to buy a Switch 2, it's crazy. Honestly, I got here to get $30 at black market sale, fucking or Black Friday sale. Shit, Walmart coming in good. Having something inevitable, which I doubt in this case, doesn't mean you should give up resisting it. If it's inevitable, then resisting it is literally futile. Yeah, like in a literal sense. Yeah, I know. For example, in the UK, guys. Again, I've said this plenty of times in the UK. When I was a kid. I bought my copy of Superstar, or my mum, should I say, bought me my copy of Superstar Saga at a HMV in Islington Angel for £30, right? Again, if I wanted to buy God of War Ragnarok, if I wanted to go to like fucking I don't know, my local fucking Argos and get God of War Ragnarok. At least when it was full price at the time it came out, it would have been £60. Again, in the UK, we're used to prices steadily going up. I'm used to that. I'm okay with that. I understand. Like, times change. Like, you know, up in the cost, inflation. Like, it sucks for me because I can't afford as more games. But in principle, inflation, economics. But again, we're going from 60 to 75, chat. While it's inevitable that it would have been 75 eventually, I am not okay with Nintendo making that stark jump. And Nintendo of all companies. That's what I'm saying, okay? So, Kelps, you are wrong and skibbity, and LTD Let's Plays, you should play something good. That's what you should do. You should play something good. I came here before working and watching Pariah. I came back after and it's still on this video. Yeah, I'm still on this video. I'm still on it. Value is what you place on a game. If you think you'll get $8 of value, buy it. If not, then don't. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of value in that as well. But like, I can understand in principle people going, I don't want to spend $8 right now after the market just went up to 70, you know? I think it went on sale on the eShop on Boxing Day. Really? Okay. So at least they do some sales, I guess. Hey, Nintendo, where's the Nintendo Selects? Huh? Where is it? Hang on. Bubba Booty 928. Gamers, I clapped. I clapped when he said you should start making scripts if you're unsure about releasing controversial videos. Instead of dismissing a lot of the comments as irrational anger, you could have easily made a video with a carefully written response with some actual arguments. This video doesn't address some of the actual issues with their statements behind stick to Sonic reviews and $90 prices. Honestly, so true. Oh, fuck. The gamers, I have to hide the stream. Gamers, I have to blur the stream. I have to blur the stream. Lonely Sum is at it again, gamers. Call him a Bucky main in Marvel Rivals. Again! What did he say, though? Was he based or cringe this time? Oh, fuck. I lost my place again. As if that's going to change people's minds. He sticks to his opinion. Why does he have to change then? Hang on. Why does he have to change? He can address them, but some won't agree until he changes his mind. It's another one of those. I hate this shit, man. I find this shit so cringe. Oh, he's just saying it how it is. He shouldn't change his opinion because otherwise the people will win. Like, it's this like intellectually dishonest thing that people fall into the trap of, right? It's up on your top. But like, if you're asking me, chat, I do stand on business with my nuanced takes. If I thought about something, yeah, I'll stand on it. But if new information comes along, fuck yeah, I'll change my opinion. I'll reevaluate my take based on new information, and I might change it. Like, there's nothing like honorable about like holding onto a stance firm like in the face of adversity. Like, that's just we call that stubbornness. We call that you're stubborn as a mule, brother. What are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? Good lord.
Recently, I am going to get
Thank you so much, Gio.
because I personally can pay for it. But that's because I work 3 jobs.
Hey, listen, if you work hard for it, you deserve. Hey, work hard, play hard.
$80 games are insanity.
They are insanity, and I'm glad you agree. I'm glad you're on the right side of history, Joe. Thank you for the fight, man. Appreciate that. All that hard work and money. Lonely Sum, more like a lonely bum. Got him. Got him, gamers. Got him. The checkers are insane. You feel like a more serious gaming version. Hang on. You feel like a more serious gaming-only version of Penguin Zero. What's up, everybody? It's critical. Today, the Pariah situation's insane. Can you all clap my ass cheeks and call me Sheila? Lonely Sum is definitely going for the Gluck Gluck Champions League over here. Look at him. He's just replying. He's replying like his life depends on it. It's crazy, guys. This is the craziest situation of all time. I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or not, but I'll just say thank you, I guess. You know, I got called Charlie again. I love nuance, Charlie. I love nuance. Thank you so much, K-Job. Appreciate it, man. I found it to be one of the most reasonable videos on this topic. Like, for fuck's sake. Oh, it's gross, chat. It's gross. Which is the opposite of how I feel about Kobe becoming a Royal Guard. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. But like, do you know what this is, chat? It's the softly spoken person saying level-headed, therefore they must be level-headed. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what this sounds like. It sounds like because Pariah was coming at it from a you fell for it. Can we give this guy a fell for it again award? Because yes, he came across as nuanced and level-headed, but when you actually listen to what he was saying, it was fucking stupid. Stupidness! Buying the Switch 2 is cringe is a weird statement. People have as much right to be okay with it as they have to be angry. I don't know where you saw that, Draken. Gamers, have we got a live people online? Draken08. Can we get VAR check on Draken08? Who said this? Who said that buying a Switch 2 is cringe? Was there a comment I scrolled past? Draken? Like, no one said this. We said that vote with your wallet. If you can afford it, afford it. If you can't, then don't. Draken having a stinker. Hang on, is that? Oh, Draken, hang on, let me see. Lit Gamers, oh my god. First message on the channel. Stinker, Draken, stinker. You can only go up from here, Draken, okay? Welcome to the Musquire Street. Oh, the comment from a minute ago. Hang on, chat. Hang on. VAR check. Hang on, where were we? What was the comment I just read? Oh, here it was. So we're gonna scroll up from here, chat. We're gonna scroll over here. Do we see a Switch 2, buying a Switch 2 is cringe? Where was it? I don't know, Drake, and I don't see it. Oh, Draken. Draken, I don't know. It's looking kind of sus for you. It's looking kind of sus. Check complete, gamers. Check complete.
To watch a video.
Thank you so much, Last Pack, for the 2. Am I asked to ask you to watch? Oh, you're allowed to ask in the same way I'm allowed to say no. No, usually how it works is that if you want to submit a video, you can go on my Discord. If you read the rules and etiquettes, you can submit a video, give me an explanation as to what the video is. I'll check it out and I'll see if it makes a good topic. I generally don't take money for videos. I just don't want to open up that can of worms ever. I don't want to open that Pandora's box. But you're welcome to submit a video. Maybe it was a reply. Hang on. Let's see. Draken. Hang on, Draken. What's going on? Is Draken redeemed? Am I gonna have to eat crow? I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it, Draken. I'm sorry. The chat wanted you to be redeemed. Check complete, gamers. Check complete. Draken had a stink. Hey, what is that? You scored past him and maybe I misunderstood. That's fine, don't worry. Welcome to the stream. It's your first chat message. Welcome to the stream. Listen, trial by fire. Well, hey guys, a round of applause for Draken, all right? Trial by fire. Trial by fire. Welcome in, brother. Appreciate you being here. Let's we'll do a bit more. Just a couple more comments. So, Pariah. You bought an Apple TV just to play Sonic Dream Team. You have no credibility to say people are overreacting. I think we saw the same comment in his other thing, right? Sorry, I just put this here to spice up some things. Crazy. Hearing you sold your sword gear was a bit sad. Losing out on a hobby because of your current life situation. Ouch. As far as the situation goes, I stand by what I've said. Nintendo's doing this at least partially upgrade. I think the comments kind of. I think we've kind of gotten our fill. I'll just quickly sort by newest only. Mr. Essay Man. Valve. Hey, it's Matt John! Hey, yo! Matt John is here! I definitely think if Nintendo would have communicated the price better, there'd be less backlash. But that would mostly just be less or none if they did a good job with their backlash about the misinformation, like the game key cards. There'd have been a noticeable difference. True! I think they messed in from €60 to €90, not because Nintendo needs to do so. The general prices were on €80. And I don't believe that Nintendo really puts that much more budget into their games like Sony or Microsoft. Especially with digital versions being cheaper. That to me feels like physical versions are more expensive instead of... it just feels like... That to me just feels like they made just physical versions more expensive instead of the other way around. Although, we have yet to see. Maybe MKW will be so big and amazing it justifies the price. Granted, I'm really speculating here. I just wanted to share my perspective. You know what? Nice. Hey, guys, see, guys, this is how you do it, okay? If you're going to go to the original person's video and leave a comment, this is the sort of thing I champion. You know? But either way, we'll leave it there. Closing thoughts, Pariah. I'm at the very least glad. While that first video definitely fucking drove me off a brick wall. Jesus Christ, lad. I'm glad that while it might have... If this was the situation that it took for you to realize that maybe you should approach things with more tact, maybe implement a bit of EQ, I'm glad you did this, I suppose. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we watched it. And all the best to you. We'll check in a year from now, chat. About a year, 6 months to a year from now. And we'll see if your takes seem more, you know, level, like more refined than they are now. We'll check back on them. Gamers, Pariah. Let's give him his flowers. Let's give him his flowers, chat. Let's give him his flowers. While I did get justifiably mad, I don't ever want to wish ill will to any content creator. So, best of luck to him. And we'll check on him some other time, yeah?